Good morning, viewers. My name is Sydney Winston. I am an atheist activist out of Vancouver, BC. Now, I'm not happy. Not because of anything that you said or that I heard or anything. It's just that it's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning, or approaching 7:30 in the morning. And it's so damn hot. I don't like the heat, and it's 23 degrees centigrade right now, Celsius, at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's going to gain 10 degrees during the day. This is not acceptable. I protest, and I suffer these weather conditions under duress. I do not agree with these weather conditions, it being so warm and all. But the show must go on, as they say. So I have said a couple of times, a number of times really, I've said that religion, or the concept of God, let's say, should not be introduced to children until they're in their teens. And I have always maintained that because of my personal experience. Hemant Mehta, the Friendly Atheist, or Friendly Atheist on YouTube, is going to tend to agree with me. And I like that because I've never heard the same the same outlook that I have regarding this from anyone else. In fact, each time I have mentioned it on one of these streams, either people that are in a hangout with me or those that are commenting do a lot of this. Ha 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 ha, la 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 la, MFA, you know, it's funny. So I think that my suggestion of keeping the God discussion away from children until they're in their teens is gaining traction. But there are other reasons that you shouldn't tell your kids about God. There's 10 of them. And Hemant Mehta, here he is, whose YouTube is the Friendly Atheist, is going to take it away. Go, Hemant, go. Oh, I better first sort of cut him in here. There you go.
Others the way they want to be treated. Respect them. The online version of that, by the way, is only say things in a comment thread that you would say face to face, and if we all knew your real name. Got it, YouTube? And if that's too much work...
Oh, I got something to say about that, Gary. Hold on. Let me just bring myself in here. All right. All right, mister. Okay, I'm just going to replay that, all right? Excuse me.
And God has no part in it. Better yet, teach them the platinum.
That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to bring this right in from the beginning.
If you're a religious parent, it's very tempting to push faith on your kids as early as possible. Because you mean well. You think it's good for them. In practice, the...
Okay, I kind of panicked there. I was listening to this and I heard something. I don't know. Just never mind me. I'm angry. It's hot.
Might mean you get them baptized shortly after they're born. You get them in Sunday school from an early age so they learn the basics of your religion, and so they can learn morality and ethics. You might get them to pray before going to bed. But consider this. That is a bad idea. You don't need to do any of it.
Now, have any of you actually considered that that is a bad idea? Think about it. Have you ever considered that exposing your children to God is a bad idea? I don't think you have you? Well, it is. It's a bad idea, and here's why. Here's several reasons why.
And you might actually be better off not doing it, especially if you're not all that religious to begin with. What if you just didn't tell your kids about God? Not yet. What if you waited until they were a little older to introduce them to the concept? Here's why you should seriously consider that. Morality doesn't require God. Do you think your kids won't learn to be kind, honest, decent people unless they're guilt-tripped into doing it? Because morality isn't when you do the right thing because you believe God is watching over your shoulders. It's when you do the right thing even when nobody's watching. Our world is better off when people are helping others without the need for a reward, or when they're giving to those who are less fortunate without expecting anything in return, or when they're telling the truth even though they don't have to. You don't need religion for that. Even kids understand that. Seriously, just teach them the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's a good substitute for all things religious, and God has no part in it. Better yet, teach them the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Respect them. The online version of that, by the way, is only say things in a comment thread that you would say face to face, and if we all knew your real name.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. This is what I want to just get repeated, and I have something to say about this.
Way is only say things in a comment thread that you would say face to face, and if we all knew your real name.
Okay. Right. Only say things in a comment thread that you would say face to face, and only, excuse me, if we knew your real name. I'm going to call out some fake names that say things in the comment thread where no one knows the real name. Catholic traditionalist. Your name comes to mind first. Jesus is Lord. Smoky Saint. Harlem Street Tales. Will Kincaid. Yochanan Avraham. Praise I am, that I am, or whatever. Darth Dawkins. You people are the lowest of the low when it comes to the keyboard warrior pyramid. You're all at the very bottom in this sort of miasma of nothingness. Well, let me rephrase that. This miasma of irrelevance, that's what you guys are. You guys have something to say. If you can't say it face to face, representing your real name, then Hemant Mehta is referring to you. You. Now, man up, Smoky Saint. Use your real name and come face to face. Darth Dawkins. Evolution False. Duncan Atheism. Crushing Atheism. I don't know how many fucking names you have, Gary, but bring your full name and your face on the camera if you are so brave to say the things you say. Because until then, Gary and company, you are all cowards in the eyes of all atheists, including myself and Hemant here. Okay? You. I didn't include Canadian Catholic in that. Canadian Catholic, I'm so sorry, but you're one of them. No name. You guys who Veckle. Oh yeah, they're all just flooding back into my head. Veckle. G-Man. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. You should all confess. You should all fall to your faces in front of your God and confess your failures. You confess how much you've disappointed your God and expect to be punished at the time of your entrance into the foyer with two doors. The one that says down and the one that says up. So let's have your real names, okay? Out with it. In fact, I think we should have a concerted internet movement to get all the Christians to reveal their real names and their real faces so that we can actually start seeing who and what and who is spreading all the bullshit and where they come from and like what are you hiding? It's almost like you're making yourself irrelevant to start off with. So I want that to change. Let's spice up this internet experience a little bit, all right? And now back to Mehta. Back to Hemant Mehta. Hemant. Boy, that's a tough name for me. I'm gonna have to say that 1,000,000 times before I remember it.
Got it, YouTube? And if that's too much work, how's this? Be nice. That's it. That's the tweet. Kids get that too. That's all of morality. They're more likely to be nice if they understand why it makes sense, instead of doing it because you tell them it's one of God's special rules. You don't need religion to teach morality. Religion invites shame. So much of religion, especially Christianity, Catholicism, involves telling people that without God, they're worthless. They are sinners, they're unsaved, they're lost, they have a God-shaped hole in their heart. Basically, there is something wrong with them. That's never been true. But what a horrible thing to tell your children, for them to believe they're wretches in need of supernatural intervention. It's even worse to tell them Jesus was murdered because of something they did without even realizing it. He died for your sins. Don't do that to them. Trust me, they will get older and they are going to feel shame about everything. You don't need to pile on from birth. Let kids be curious. A kid should never grow up thinking God did it is an acceptable answer for anything. I'm sure all of us were annoyed when our parents responded to our questions with, "Because I said so." It wasn't an answer. It was a way to end the conversation. That's the same thing as God did it, or God will...
Well, let me intervene here, or let me interject here, that I have a personal story. When I asked why God, I would ask my father all the time. Not all the time, maybe once or twice, because I got a very firm answer in return. When I asked my father about God, religion, blah, 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 he'd walk away. I never saw his face when he said this because he was always walking away. And he says, religion should be taught in the schools. That's it. End of story. Done. Religion should be taught in the schools. And as it happened, I went to a kind of a Jewish school, public Jewish school. No, it wasn't a public school; it's a private school, Jewish school. But it was very kind of secular. So even though they taught me Hebrew, it wasn't until I was about, I don't know, 12 years old maybe, that the Bible actually came into the education system. And having been taught Hebrew, now we put it into practice, as it were. And that's when Genesis 1:1, I remember that lesson 100% clearly, vividly in my head, about Genesis 1:1, where the teacher was reading it and I was following along and trying to understand it and asking questions and trying to figure out what the tohu vohu and the ruach of the spirit of the God sort of floating across the. It was fiction. It was a story, and I'm very grateful that I was at the maturity level of 12 years old that I was introduced to this God concept, having already formulated kind of how things work in the world just from observation and related activities. So there is a little bit of a backup for what Hemant Mehta is going to say about keeping religion away from kids. Oh, I guess we should bring him back in. Who needs me bloviating?
Take care of it. It's a cop-out. Your kids are born curious. As they grow up, unfortunately, a lot of them lose that spirit, partly because we discourage them from asking so many questions. Let's give them more opportunities to discover things for themselves. As annoying as it might be, your kids asking why is really a wonderful thing because it means they want to know stuff. Why is the sky blue? Why do I look like mommy and daddy? Why do I have a belly button? Those are good questions. And if you don't know the best way to respond, go search for the answers with them. Teach them how to learn on their own. Teach them how to think, not what to think. Religion always seems to have an answer for everything, and so many of those answers are just made up. Don't let religion destroy your child's curiosity. Your kids will trust you more. Kids will believe anything you tell them, at least at first. If you want to develop a stronger bond with your child, lying doesn't help. Because when they realize you're lying, they'll make a mental note not to take you seriously in the future. Telling them the Bible is true, then, is going to be a problem the moment they find a contradiction, or realize there's no way the world was created in 6 days, or understand people don't rise up from the dead outside of zombie movies. Just because you mean well doesn't mean your kids will come around to your way of thinking. And if your kids learn they can't trust you on the small things, they're never going to come to you for the big things. I know some atheists who honestly feel conflicted about introducing their kids to the idea of Santa Claus for that very reason. I mean, I do it. It's fun for me. But I get where they're coming from. Even a lie for the sake of tradition is a lie. But at least with Santa, the expectation is that the kids will eventually grow out of it. Religion doesn't come with the same guarantee. It builds self-confidence. If your kids face a problem, what do you want them to do? Pray to God for help? Or figure out a way to take care of things themselves? If they're struggling in school, for example, prayer's not going to change that. They need to study more, or talk to friends or a guidance counselor.
What do you guys think about that so far? So far he's spot on, isn't he?
Or find a tutor, or ask the teacher for more help. Whatever the issue, you want kids to be strong and self-reliant. Asking for help is great. when they're talking to real people. The problem is that when we teach them to rely on God for anything we need, everything becomes a group project where God just sits on the sidelines but still gets credit for it. They'll learn to challenge authority. Maybe the worst thing about religion is that it teaches kids that obedience is a good thing. And that is tempting as a parent because, trust me, there are so many times I wish my kids would just shut up and listen to me. But if an adult does something that doesn't make sense to them, I want kids to push back. I want them to ask questions. I don't want them to do things just because an authority figure told them to do it. If they think they know better, let them speak up. Just because someone's a pastor doesn't mean he knows everything, or that he's always telling the truth. Same with parents. But no one raises kids to hold up citation needed signs in church. That would not be a bad idea. You can avoid indoctrination. If you're religious and you want your kids to be religious, indoctrinating them is a horrible way to do it because the backlash could be huge. I would say that to atheists, too. The most outspoken atheists I know come from some of the most religious families, and some very famous Christians came out of very non-religious homes. You don't want kids to believe something is right or good just because they're used to it from you. Richard Dawkins has made this point before, but we all accept that it would be absurd for a parent to say, "This is my newborn baby. She's a Republican." Like, what? No, she's a baby. She doesn't have political thoughts. And yet parents do that all the time with religion. This child is getting baptized because he's a Catholic. He's a good Muslim child. That kid doesn't know what's going on. Give him some space to figure it out.
Yep.
Don't saddle him with a label he didn't choose.
Seriously, what do you guys think about that? Seriously. Why is Hemant wrong? He's not. He's 100% on point. I've watched recently quite a few of Hemant's videos or his points of view and his vision, and I'm liking, so far I'm liking everything he says. He represents a lot of what I think, and he's half my age. So there is hope.
Kids should learn how to challenge their own preconceptions. And I know we always want our kids to just become miniature versions of ourselves, but in terms of beliefs, if you trust your kids and your beliefs are well grounded, maybe they'll come around and see things your way. And they'll do it because they worked it out for themselves, not because it was forced upon them. But even if they don't, so what? Raise your kids to be decent people, and then let them forge their own path, even if it's not the one you would have chosen. It encourages doubt. Religion offers so many wrong answers to so many good questions. What else is out there? How did we get here? Evolution and cosmology, just to name two subjects, are fascinating, partly because there are so many aspects of those subjects we just don't know. Not yet. And maybe we'll never know. But that's okay. That's honest. You almost never hear a pastor say, God doesn't really have a position on this issue. No, God always has an answer for everything. And it always seems to coincide with whatever the pastor thinks. And even when it makes no sense at all, religious people will just say, God is working in mysterious ways. It's...
We hate that. Oh, do we hate when that is heard? God works in mysterious ways. Well, I tell you what. How about this? The United States judicial system works in mysterious ways. The IRS works in mysterious ways. The FBI, the CIA, they work in mysterious ways. the KGB, or whatever the equivalent is right now, in Russia, works in mysterious ways. The government of South Africa, with the public's inability to understand anything that it's doing, any policies that they come out with, the government of South Africa works in mysterious ways. So the fact that God works in mysterious ways coincides with the statement that God does not exist. Because everything else I've mentioned, working in mysterious ways, is guided by humans. All of it. Except for this mysterious ways working God. So that was what I had to say on that.
Okay to say we don't know what's happening. That's life. Uncertainty is part of it. Let's teach our kids not to accept a bad answer just to fill a void. They're not old enough. They'll learn about God eventually. I'm not saying we should shelter them from religion. Of course, they should learn about different beliefs because religion is a driving force in our world. And they need to know how to communicate with friends and classmates who are believers. They're gonna make friends with kids who are religious, and knowing what that entails is important. But just imagine if your kids weren't introduced to religion until they were much older. Teenagers, even. What if, one day, you said, I want to tell you about how a virgin gave birth to the Lord, who once walked on water, and later got tortured, but then got resurrected. And that's why there's an Easter bunny. Oh, and by the way, some people think eating a wafer means you are literally eating the body of Jesus. Literally. If your kids still take religion seriously after all that, fine. They can be religious. But more often than not, they accept those stories just because they're used to them. Religious belief, like sex education, doesn't make sense until they reach an age where they have at least some clue about what people are talking about.
Bingo! Huh? Doesn't that support my contention that children should not be exposed to religion? Until they're teenagers, at least. I believe maybe I was exposed early by that definition, but 12 seems to be about as good an age in terms of when a child can rationalize a little bit of what they're hearing, as opposed to believing it because an authoritative figure is telling it. There's the difference. There's the difference right there.
And like sex, they should know how to do it safely. It's unfair to push your beliefs on them when they've never had a chance to think through it, especially when we're talking about smaller religions that demand more from believers. It can cause a lot of damage. They deserve hell. Have you been around babies? They can be evil, annoying, smelly. I mean, they kind of deserve hell. So, maybe don't tell them about God and let's see what happens. Look, you may think that answer is cruel, but I swear you will agree with me the next time they're crying at 3 a.m., is all I'm saying.
That is all he's saying. What do you think? All right, let's do my next favorite thing and go to the chat. I go to the chat because the chat could lead to some really interesting conversation. Also, as usual, I am going to suggest that I open up a meet and we can talk about this, because I think this is an important topic to talk about. If we don't talk about it right now, we will certainly talk about it at some point. Now, I will open up a meet, but I just want to make a couple of stipulations, okay? I don't want any preaching Christians in my meet at all. If you're a nice, logical, rational person, you can come on in. I have a problem here. I can't solve it. Hold on a sec. Oh, okay. Solved. If you can't be rational when you come into my conversation room, then I'd rather you not participate, okay? Just give me a moment while I set it up so I can give you a link. Oh, I guess I have to join this thing, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay. Joined. All right. Let me see where I'm going to put this. I'll put it right there. Okay, so essentially there it is, the meet room. I'm just going to turn my mic off in there until somebody walks in. So there it is. It's all ready to go. That doesn't help you because you don't have a link. So I'll give you one. And if I can find the chat window, I'll stick it in. There we go. All right. There you go. Now, please, no dumbfuck Christians with their stupid preaching, okay? If you're a Christian, you're more than welcome to listen. But if you are a Christian, you have nothing to say to me that I'm interested in hearing. So there's no point in you joining the hangout unless you're prepared to just sit and listen. And participate, of course, in a rational manner. Okay, so good. Now I'm going to pin this to the top. I'll do this probably at the end of, if I've got time, at the end of every presentation to see if there's a talking point or if there's people around who want to grab the moment and make something of this. So let me recognize who we have in the chat. Ha we ha. Ha we ha. Yeah, I was right. Hemant Mehta, the Friendly Atheist, equals pure gold. Yeah, you know what? I do agree. Good morning, God equals the square root of -1. Good morning. You got your cup of coffee? I got my cup of coffee. So ha we ha, you're in Germany? It's good when I have these early morning streams, then I reach Europe. At least I reach one person in Europe. Ha we ha. Was I preaching God equals the square root of -1? Really? Me preach? If you teach about the history of all religions, you inoculate. If you teach only one religion, you indoctrinate. Wise words. God equals the square root of -1. Here's a good quote from Harvey Ha. Good statement. Religion and other assertion of worldview has otherwise decent people do abominable things to minors. An example is circumcision. Yes, sir or madam. Absolutely 100%. At least Santa brings presents. He never brings me any presents. Jeebus just brings blood, sacrifice, and guilt. Yeah, the guilt thing I understand because but this blood sacrifice, I don't get how is spilling blood as a sacrifice any meaningful in any way to a God who doesn't exist and can obviously see it. Fuck, this is fucked up, man. I don't understand it. All right, let me just prove a point. Okay, so it looks to me like the conversation room has been entered by someone. Let's see, most epic. Welcome.
Oh, Sir Vincent, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, excellent. It's
Beautiful.
perfect.
Beautiful. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is the first time I'm live on your YouTube channel. We have
Yes, yeah,
had,
I have not seen you before. I mean,
yes,
not at least not online.
only on Discord we had one conversation.
Oh, did
And
we?
it was the Darwin skill, one being hyper religious, seven being absolutely not religious. Not possible that the God exists.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
You remember that?
I do.
And you were on a 7, and
I'm
I'm
still a
on a
seven.
6.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I'm still a seven. To me, only
Hmm.
1 and 7 exists because everything between 1 and 7 is just opinion.
Hmm.
One
And for
is,
sure it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
1 and 7 is either one is true or two is true, right? Not they both can be true.
No, exactly.
Anyway, that's irrelevant. How are
Uh,
you today, and what have you to say?
I am doing very fine. It's a good day for me. I was doing some groceries. I live on the other side of the ocean because you're Canada. I'm from the Netherlands.
Hmm.
So it's now in 5 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. And yeah, I wanted to take this moment to yeah elaborate on something you said. I think it's that you were the one. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that was such a wonderful quote, and I memorized it. It was something like people, theists, using philosophy and science to masquerade the silly stories of the book they believe in, something like that. Was that you,
I don't
Sydney?
remember saying that.
Okay, maybe it wasn't you, but what is your opinion on that quote?
Can
I
you
would like to.
can you repeat it?
Yeah. Okay. Theists using science and philosophy to masquerade the silliness that they believe in, something like that.
Um, to me, the silliness that they believe in is self-evident.
Hmm.
There's nothing to, there is no masking, there's no masquerading it. It's out there in the open as being truly silly. It's Monty Python-esque. It's almost as if the Bible was written in 2,000 years ago,
Hmm.
and now Monty Python is performing the Bible sketches. Have you ever seen The Life of Brian?
No, I haven't.
Watch that.
I shall.
Yeah, it's the best Monty Python. In my opinion, it's the best Monty Python movie.
But you do acknowledge that hypocrites, narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopaths like DD, Gary Mill,
There's
they
one
use
word.
it.
There's one word for those people.
Can
Christians.
you teach me?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Hey, I have two words for that. Christians and Muslims. Do we have another?
No, I wouldn't. You know what? I have a whole different and respectful view of Muslims and Jews with a relative, I should say, to the Christians. The
That's the
Christians
difference.
are on a scale of 10 lunatic. The Muslims and Jews are down there, 1 and 2. So they're not of interest to me.
But why is that respect different in contrast to?
Because with the Muslims and the Jews, it's the behavior of the few that get our attention.
Mhm.
But the Christians, every single one of them is a nutcase and a lunatic, and a reason or an object for ridicule.
Okay.
So why waste all this good content on irrelevance? The Muslims, they have their own inter-Muslim argument communities.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need us to argue against them when they argue so vehemently and vociferously amongst themselves. I intend to interview somebody on that subject who's part of that community soon. So there will be more on this, which is why I stay out of the Muslim community and their issues. I concentrate on the absolute stupidity that is Christianity.
Oh, for sure it is.
Yes.
Sure it is, because they believe in something that's not in their experience.
I could steel man Judaism. I could steel man Islam, but I certainly can't steel man Christianity.
But doesn't that count as a kind of special pleading towards the Muslims, for instance?
Maybe, but I've got just one entity to deal with the Muslims. I've got Allah. That's it. And with Jesus, I got a wealth of bullshit.
Oh, Sydney, but it is also one. 1 + 1 + 1 is it's one. They say it. It's
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, but you are right. You are absolutely right. But that other day, I think one day ago, something like that, I thought that was beautiful what you did with Genesis 1. So I'm going to use this in the future, in future debates when people like to use Genesis. But because I thought I had something strong to argue about, taking Genesis 3 in consideration, verse 21, where it's clearly stated that Adam is thrown out of the garden because he must be thrown out of the garden before he eats from the tree of life. So we have to take this in literal consideration because they also ate from the other fruit, from the tree of knowledge. Now, if you have a tree of life in a place where everything is immortal, will live forever and never die, that's also very, very stupid. And the most stupid part is, and you pointed out the polytheism, and that other verse that goes like, before he eats of the tree of life and becomes like one of us.
Right.
Plural.
Right.
Again, polytheism.
Polytheism,
Again.
exactly. And this is, I don't understand. Am I the only, are we too the only people to see this in the whole planet?
Now, I do think that many people see this, ignore this, don't want to be bothered with it because you will, there's a whole new
You'll destroy the whole religion.
Exactly.
Well, that's the idea. That's my whole objective.
I would like to see that in my lifetime that happens.
Well, stick around. Let's make that. Well, we could only try. I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But how can it not happen? I mean, we're not a stupid species.
No, we are not. No. We are
more and more of those within the species who hitherto have followed blindly and into a faith are now starting to ask questions. More and more and more and more and more. And that makes people like the internet evangelists more nervous and I like that.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And when you, for instance, you go to a certain verse, that is where your belief is based on. So be
Yes,
objective,
yes.
just stick to the verse. But they go to philosophy and they say this Greek said it and that Roman said that.
Yeah, it
That
doesn't
isn't
matter.
relevant. Yeah,
Irrelevant. Exactly. So my challenge is still out there to any Christian or anyone really who understands Hebrew, biblical Hebrew anyway, to come and let's have a discussion on Genesis 1 because I've got everything I need in terms of the images that I need to throw up there, and it's really not a difficult thing to do to analyze Genesis 1. And the best thing to do is use the original language and talk about it.
that's such a beautiful, beautiful critic. It's a skepticism. It's perfect, almost perfect. And I thought I was clever, but you outclassed me for sure, Sir
You
Winston.
flatter me, sir.
No, my friend, no, my friend. I've listened to you now for a while, little snippets of it, but you know what you are talking about. So I'm humbled by your knowledge, for sure I am. I
Oh
have
man,
another
thank you.
one in
Yeah,
the Protestant church. I was raised in a Protestant school
yeah.
as a Hindu, nevertheless. But they only pick the good stories. But in this, someone is calling me. I'm so sorry. I'm on the
That's okay.
phone.
I'm gonna say hello to Lookout for number one. How are ya?
Excellent, excellent. Just finished work.
Nice, welcome. Oh, I see. It's you know what? I forget that in Europe, especially in the UK, it's kind of the end of the workday. The African humanist is in the outside chat there. Hi, come on in. So you finished work, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you catch any of the preamble to this?
No, because I was using my crane. I got a big lorry with a crane, and I do all sorts of things. So I was outside my vehicle using the crane. So I only listen to you when I am in my cab doing long trips.
Oh, okay.
So apart from that, I can't. It's
I
basically
can't.
just
I don't understand that. Isn't the droning of my voice kind of sleep inducing?
no.
Not to us, my friend. It
No,
works like caffeine, like nicotine. It works like that. I stay awake when I hear it.
Indeed.
Hey, my friend Sydney, and look out for number one. Apparently, I have to go. I have to make some phone calls. I'm so sorry,
No,
but
that's okay.
thank you.
That's okay. Come back if you in another time if you can to today.
Yes, please. I would like to have this conversation.
Well, thanks for popping in.
Progress.
All right.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, my friend.
No
We shall
problem.
speak again.
Indeed. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So
you were loading stuff from a crane?
Yeah, I've got a lorry with a crane.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
pick up containers and whatnot. Yeah, stuff basically.
Right. So you've
Yeah.
got like
Or
a real job.
yes. Yeah, not like your friend Gary Mill.
Well, he's an entertainer at the very least, right?
Actually, yeah, that's true. She entertainer, but still entertainer.
I mean, he doesn't mean it. He's trying to be as serious as serious can be.
You know what? I find it very intriguing about this Discord BS, and that is that the guy who actually runs it, I think he's a kid, teenager or whatever, or probably even in his 20s, right? Dodi, or what, something like
Who's that?
those. Is the guy running the actual servers, the one who's got the most control,
Of what?
right?
Of what?
Of the Discord servers.
Oh, you know what? I don't do Discord.
No, I know. But for example, you know, Tom Rabbit, when he puts these videos, right,
Yeah.
it's always about Daft giving a bollocking to somebody, giving a ranting about somebody, and then muting or whatever. I once asked the guy running the show or the owner of the servers. I go, why would you allow this kind of human being to be this despicable to people? Never got an answer. So I'm trying to figure out why he's allowed to behave. Well, not to behave, but to actually be on to have a control. Because if you take the control, or if somebody takes the control out of this guy, then his whole show will collapse.
He's the type of narcissist who needs the control. What he needs, he needs the control so he can feed off those who he instills fear in.
Well, that's the definition of a parasite. Yeah, but sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a human parasite.
Yeah.
And the sad thing, of course, me included, is that we laugh at this. It's a travesty. It's an absolute. It's an evolutionary mistake.
Yes.
And we're laughing at it.
I have to concur with that. Yeah, because when I have to be really, really, really bored. Yeah, to listen to this idiot. Yeah, when he's. But I really also feel frustrated that I cannot do anything about it. Right, like in a one-to-one type of thing, right? Because he's always either putting you off, muting, or whatever, or running circles around a couple of questions or whatever. Going for his script, right? And there's no fairness. This guy is not a Christian.
He's a coward. He's a coward for not putting his name and face.
Yeah, I agree.
In front of his rhetoric.
Nah, he's a born-again coward. Yeah.
I don't know, he's a born coward, maybe. At best.
I mean, I don't know. His
track record, if he was really serious, if he didn't have a track record like he does in real life, maybe he'd be taken seriously. But
he cannot be taken seriously. Yeah, he's a different con man. But he cannot be taken seriously when he's that aggressive, because his whole purpose is not to act as a Christian. It's just to be extremely malevolent. Right?
Well, you got to figure that he acts online the same way he acts in real life to his family, and this is probably why. In fact, almost definitely why they have disconnected from him. He's probably been this way all his life, right? And there comes a time when enough is enough.
Yeah, I've heard it so many times. Do you know how old I am?
I don't know, 50.
No. Sorry, him.
Oh, him. He's 60.
Yeah, I'm 56. Right.
Okay.
But I can't wait for him to say to you, "Oh, you behave like a fucking child." I can tell him a couple of things.
He accuses a lot of people of behaving like a man-child, when it is quite evident in a lot of the videos that we showcase about him or with him in it that he's behaving like a man-child.
Yes.
So he's projecting every time he says that.
Right. Correct. I'm thinking, aren't you listening to yourself?
Right. He doesn't. Well, obviously he doesn't. He looks at himself in the mirror a lot, maybe, but I don't think he listens to himself.
He says, "Just mumbo jumbo. Hold on, you just fucking. Is that 5 minutes of your own BS? What are you talking about? Can you see everybody in the room? Don't you agree with me? Who doesn't agree with me?" And everybody quiet, like they're afraid of him.
You know what? What surprises me is that there isn't like a Darth Dawkins YouTube channel that you can go to and engage with Darth Dawkins.
Of course not, because he thrives in his being anonymous, in the sense of not knowing who he is.
Well, no, I don't even mean that. I mean, there's probably in fact, I'm pretty sure there's a YouTube channel called Darth Dawkins, but I don't think it's him. But if he had his own YouTube channel called Darth Dawkins, okay, and he invited, like this, people to come in and chat all the time, but he wasn't so abrasive, and he was nice. And let's say he was a real Christian, and he treated his family, and he actually had a family, and he came across into these hangouts, and he treated everybody the way he treats his children, with respect. That would be great, but he doesn't. He treats everybody like a piece of dirt. Everybody, I don't know of anybody, even Artangelo, who he has respect for. And Artangelo is essentially a mirror image of Darth Dawkins.
I think Artangelo is the refined version.
Did you hear? Yeah, he is the refined version. Yeah.
Of Darth. Yeah, he's trying to go for the scientific side of it.
Oh
yeah.
God, he's so boring.
Definitely. I heard you talking the last couple of days about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, seriously. You come in. He never came in, and he was texting you or whatever. Yeah, it's funny.
You know, any Christian who comments to me with a quote from the Bible is not worth talking to.
Right.
Artangelo is one of them. He comments to me. He just copies and pastes one of those popular verses. The one he copy posted to me was I forget exactly what it says, but it's something like, "A fool says in his heart that there is no God." That was his comment to me about something I said. He quotes scripture.
No, but just got to say to him, let's go the natural way. What part of the heart says that? Yeah, now
exactly.
You know what I mean? Now he's talking about science.
Yeah. So how do you know Artangelo?
Which of the ventricle? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. Which one of the 4 cavities that pump blood gives you that information?
That's a good question. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Why are you assuming that I talk from my heart?
Exactly.
When the sound comes out of my skull. Idiot. We all know the vocal cords are in the throat, not in the heart.
Yeah. They're just trying to push the feeling.
The brain that drives those vocal cords are also in the skull and not in the heart.
Right. Well, actually, nothing is driven by, emotionally for the heart. Well, not emotionally, you know what I mean? The actual speech. Yeah. So whatever he says is just the brain. Period.
Exactly. And as I've learned, the heart is just a muscle for pumping blood and stuff.
That's it. Full stop.
Full stop. End of story.
And if he's got another version, okay, please educate us.
I mentioned yesterday that I was working on a video focusing on Nephilim Free. You know Nephilim Free?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And the claims that he makes are incredibly ignorant.
Give us one example for the audience, or for your viewers.
Science proves evolution is false.
Oh shit! I nearly choked.
That's just one.
Can you imagine? All scientists, excuse me, we got it wrong.
Yeah. Maybe I can get your advice here. I've got all the audio. It's about 25 minutes of Nephilim Free bullshitting, and there's so much to comment on. It's just hilarious. But I've really just only got the audio. I haven't added too much imagery to it. So I'm just wondering whether to just keep it as an MP3 and then let it run and we can comment on it, or do I still add some videos so that we've got something to watch while we comment on it?
Well, if you got imagery that is not related, then people might get distracted.
No, related imagery, of course.
Okay, yeah. Well, no, or even have a static picture so people can relate to who this person is.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I've got a lot of video of Evan talking. So what I'll do is I'll just play the video over this audio that I already have of him talking. even though he's not talking specifically about what's coming out over the audio. But at least you got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
face.
So
right?
so basically, so yeah. So
I've
basically,
already started doing that.
yeah,
And
you are muting his video.
yes, no, I'm muting
Yeah.
his audio.
Well, sorry, you're muting the audio of the video. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
already
I
started
understand.
doing that. I got little chunks, but I want to add some more. And yeah. I just got to finish that up, and then
Yeah,
then we can.
sounds good.
Yeah, then we can actually do a review of that. So what's your evening? Oh shit, man! We got the European quarterfinals starting in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I don't follow.
You don't follow football?
No, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, you got time for that. Oh, okay.
I ain't
What you
got
doing then? What you doing instead?
Eh?
What you gonna do
I
instead?
don't know, play online or whatever. Get distracted by other means. But I mean, I don't like to watch somebody that earns a ton of money just for hitting a ball. Yeah, in my honest opinion.
What if you had the talent to hit a ball and earn a ton of money? Would you do it?
Well, definitely, of course, by definition, you do it, but
Would
I
you
won't be
expect
a
people to
viewer.
watch you?
Huh?
Would you expect people to watch you?
I don't know. They're probably stupid ones, yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
There you go.
I made I've been in competitions, right? Different competitions, and people have been there, but
You're
that doesn't
martial
mean that.
arts, right? What do you do?
No, I used to be in the British Army. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, so doing competition shooting or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, it's good. So, right, anyhow, that's good fun. It's good fun.
Sure. That must be. How long were you in the army for?
9 years.
Did you serve overseas?
No, just locally.
Yeah.
Something called the Territorial Army, which is basically the equivalent of the Army Reserves in the United States.
National Guard.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. National Guards, correct.
okay.
National Guards, correct. Yeah. I stand corrected.
I actually would like to get away from religion for one of these broadcasts, and I think that it's time for us to focus on the fact that pretty soon there will be no United States or there will be no NATO in Afghanistan, and they'll be on their own. And there's going to be some kind of a political continuation of the situation in Afghanistan, sort of picking up from 1996,
Yeah.
when the Taliban were the government. So I'm very interested to watch how Afghanistan is going to turn out with America gone, or with NATO gone, and the Taliban as part of the political process.
I've seen some.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
No, I was going to ask you, what do you think is transpiring, or what is the future of Afghanistan?
Well, it's all in any country. It's all about the acquisition of power, right? And doesn't matter if it's by force or by political means or whatever. And in this case, it would be through violence, absolutely for sure, right? They would start doing some like in some parts of Africa as well, right? You got some people there that go into a village and start massacring people left, right, and center, yeah, for power, and many communist countries have done as well, right? And
Right.
and it won't be that far that they will do exactly the same thing due to religions and start chopping heads off. I've seen that in videos in real time, right? And it's freaking nasty, right? I've seen a challenge saying the geezer, the guy, how many times you pray today? 6. Oh no, it's 7. So you're not the right Muslim. Bang, head off.
Very, very low. Because if you can chop someone's head off because they didn't pray,
Actually, it's worthless.
oh shit, I'm getting a.
It's worthless because Allah is beyond everything, and if you do not step or you do not do the right steps according to that, then you get out of the picture. Period. Right? But
Yeah, hold on a sec. My internet has just gone fucked. I'm gonna fix it. Get it.
or at least regions, right? And then they will start gaining their own power, and there probably will be factions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then internal wars, and oh man. But I think the United States will not do anything unless they got some sort of type of nuclear armament, right? They're not going to nuke themselves, basically, right? Yeah, but that's the only time the United States intervenes, right? By using the fear factor, putting some sort of bringing the navy a few hundred miles from the coast of whatever country. Yeah, I started doing a few flybys. Oh, look at that! You know, the Americas. We might as well stop doing our dodgy stuff. Yeah, but
Well, I just think there's a few areas that are coming up politically that we need to keep our eye on. Okay, Afghanistan I mentioned as one of them. Hong Kong for sure is coming up soon, and I don't know how that's gonna turn out for a lot of people, because there's a lot of people in Hong Kong who value the freedom just as much as you and I.
well, I mean, think about in a pyramid scheme, pyramid structure, right? What we call the 1%,
Yeah.
right? The people with the power, money, whatever, resources or whatnot. They make a phone call to whoever is needed. I said, listen, stop this bullshit, right?
Right.
Otherwise, I will do something to you, right? And I think that's the way that the elite will control, or basically, they run the whole planet. Let's be frank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so when they allow wars, it's just for population control, in my opinion. Right? I might be totally wrong. I might be talking out of my
Well,
ass, but
the reason for population control is taxes.
no. I'm talking about eliminating it. So you
Oh,
don't.
eliminating.
Yeah. So I'm not. I'm talking about wars.
How can
Yeah.
how can, well, all right.
If you eliminate people, there's more resources, right? There's less people to control.
Well, the thing is, back in the old days when empires would try and impose hegemony over other smaller kingdoms and stuff, it wasn't to kill them. It was to collect the taxes from them, so they're part of the part of the system. So
That's fine, but when when we have more children, and our children have children, and the population grows exponentially, right? Uh,
good morning, Crypto. I
you,
just have to say that.
yeah, sure.
Okay,
You
carry
you
on.
can the taxes. You only pay taxes if you're working, or you generate some sort of income,
Of course.
right? Right.
No, no, no,
So,
no, 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 no. Not in the old days. In the
well,
old
no,
days, it was you have land, you
well,
owe
yeah,
me
obviously, well,
taxes.
well, then you're talking about, well, that's not taxes, that's barter. Well, not barter. Yeah, it's a taxation, so,
Okay,
or
I'm
sort.
sorry, but you're not talking about that. You're talking about something else.
Sorry.
You're talking about something else, not that.
Yeah, it's crypto. Hey, crypto girl.
Yeah, I want her to join in. She's always. You know what somebody said? Somebody made a quote that she was my co-host. I don't know where they get that from, but that was pretty cool. I have a co-host, and I didn't even
Mm,
know it.
That's okay. That's cool.
It's
The
like a
the
step up. It's like a step up. You have a
yes,
co-host. Oh, you're somebody.
the female voice of the rebellion.
The female voice of the rebellion. Actually, she's a very good counter to me, because she claims to be a Christian somehow. She never explained it, but still claims it.
Nah. It's only when she's got headaches. Don't worry about that.
I know what you. No. I want to get to the bottom of that, because she's
Yeah.
not only claimed it once, but in error. Like a slip, but no, many times. So Not that she's serious about it or anything, but she still claims. So, Crypto, let's hear it. Get in here, please.
Yeah, bring her into the dark side.
No, both of us live on the dark side.
Well, that's true. That's true. So we thrive. on
We
the dark side.
thrive, yeah. No, Crypto's cool. She's very clever. She's very smart.
An outspoken lady. She doesn't keep quiet. I mean, not. I didn't say that in a bad way, but if she's got something to say, definitely she says.
Well, if she's online because she's got something to say. She's going to say it.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
That's okay, because, I mean, who wants to hear my boring voice or yours when there's a woman in the house? With an opinion.
Oh, that sounded like a rapper. It's a woman in the house.
I think she does rap. She does something. She's kind of multi-talented. And too modest to admit it.
She was doing some sort of painting as well. Artist.
Artist in some way, but I'm not quite sure. She's also a businesswoman, apparently. I don't know what the particulars are, but let me go and get her if she's around.
Yeah, tell her we're waiting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to go and pop the. I'm going to put the link in her plink. I'm going to plink the link in her plonk. There we go. I plinked the link in a plonk, and she cannot but notice it. Actually, I didn't plink the link. I think I plunked the link. Still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't understand what you're saying.
I'm
Plink it, plonk.
I'm talking. Yeah, I'm talking COBOL. When I learned bean juice. What the fuck is bean juice? I guess we're about to find out. Oh, look, the African humanist is joining us. Welcome, welcome, Esther.
Hello.
Hello,
Sydney. How are you?
I'm very well. How you doing? You sounding well?
Yes. Look out for number one. Oh, I love that name. I love that name. Trying to look out for number one. I am.
Isn't that like the most? That's the first thing you should ever learn in life. When you're very, very tiny, learn that, and you'll never forget it.
True. So what have you guys been talking about? I've been in and out.
Oh yeah.
I heard you guys talking about Palestine and all that good stuff.
Did we talk about Palestine? I don't remember.
Yeah, Middle East.
The Middle East, yes. I heard some of that conversation. I'm not clued up with all that kind of talk. So
what's your area of expertise then?
Area of expertise.
Or area of interest.
Area of interest. Thank you.
Don't worry. Carry on.
Area of interest is people leaving religion.
Oh, I like that as well. You know, the funny thing, Esther.
Oh, I'm front row. Just grab me a seat at the front row.
Right. The videos that I make of the people's deconversions and leaving Christianity and stuff
Yes.
are not nearly as popular to viewers as these types of sort of live stream with some bite and some something contentious in them.
Yes, yes. People like drama. They like
Yeah.
the back
So,
and forth.
so I'm still gonna put those up there because I just want to get those on record. There's so many
Mhm.
of them.
But it's all about the the decompetent people is if they are willing to be heard, right, and expressing their views about the change, they're going to the dark side.
Well, that's what some people think. Uh, like myself,
Mm-hmm.
I when I deconverted,
Yeah.
I was told that I'm going through a spiritual attack.
Okay.
I'm going through a
I'm being
sun attack right now.
I'm being attacked by the spirits. The spirits are, the devil is attacking me for being able to question and to reason my way out of the religion.
Hmm.
They think, oh, she's under some kind of spiritual attack. ah,
Yeah, some
you know,
voodoo stuff have been going on. Yeah.
yes, yes. And if it's a spiritual attack, I like it. I like that kind of attack,
Mm-hmm.
because I can think clearly. I'm not here sitting and thinking, the God of Isaac and Jacob and that God. I've got to pray to that God. I've got to, do all these rituals to that God and go and drink blood and no, drink blood and eat the flesh of Jesus and all that. Um,
You're causing me
all
trauma.
the all the rituals. I haven't got to do all those things anymore. So if this is spiritual attack, thank you
So
very much.
so
I
so
love
what
it.
do you do? What do you do to replace those activities?
There you go. I love that question. So the things I do to replace those activities is I'm doing one of them right now, engaging with you, Sydney, and look out for number one. And that is
Nice.
having healthy conversations with people coming online,
Uh-huh.
looking at videos that can uplift and videos that make me challenge my beliefs. I've got children. I've just now just dropped my son off at his new job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've been doing the chores around the house, getting rid of things from the fridge, cleaning the fridge, just going about and just doing the things I would do on just
Mm-hmm.
daily basis. But this time around, I'm doing it because I want to do them. I'm not.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nobody telling me what to do. There's
Exactly.
no. There's no book guiding my
So
every.
there's no.
Uh,
The difference is, in my opinion, is that everything you did as a Christian, you had fear behind you. You are
yes.
free right now
Yes.
of that fear, and
I
that
will. I
has.
will share. I want to share with you guys a little story about myself.
Sure,
Right.
sure, sure.
So I was married for 10 years,
Okay.
and being married at the time, I believed that your partner is God ordained. That's what we were taught. We were taught that um you had that one person that's been ordained to you by God. If you miss that one person, that's it. You can't live a fulfilled existence without that one person. Some people might call it a soulmate.
We no,
Can you
we, no, we
can you
hey, we just quiet. We just respecting your comments. So
okay,
just carry on. We
so
we
they call it so
we're not daft. Do you know what I mean?
okay, all right, all right. They call it your life partner. So you're supposed to pray to God, and God reveals to you, shows you this is the person who is your life partner. And God hates divorce. So you're not even allowed to divorce this person. You're supposed to stay with this person for the rest of your natural life. The only thing can separate you guys is death or adultery. Well, but even adultery, they would still tell you you've got to stay with that person because that's the person God has ordained for you. And so I was in this horrible marriage for 10 years. Really horrible because there was there was abuse, physical abuse and all sorts. And I was in that marriage thinking, okay, if this is what God has ordained for me, why is it this bad? Why do I have to go through, why has God chosen this path for me? And when things went bad, we would go to the church leaders and go, and they would tell me that maybe I'm not praying hard enough. Maybe I'm not praying the right prayers. Maybe there's something I, as the woman, I'm not doing quite right. There was never anything to say. Well, they might tell him, okay, you need to stop the behavior, you need to not hit on your wife and not be that aggressive. But it was always me. Everything always sort of fell on me because they said a woman makes a good home, right? So, and I lived many years just resenting God, thinking, how dare you create for me this sort of environment? And so when I nearly had a nervous breakdown. I was admitted to hospital. I was nearly sectioned. I thought no. And all of this was because of the marriage, right? He was arrested by the police and all of this. I came out of hospital and I said, hang on a second. I've just been to hospital. I've been nearly sectioned under the Mental Health Act because I am married to this man that God is supposed to have ordained for me. I said, no, no, no. Something has to give. I can't carry on this way. And I said, I put a stop to the marriage. I said, enough. And he said, but I'm your God ordained. Don't you remember what that pastor said? That pastor said, you and me, we are soulmates for life. And if we're not together, we will never be fulfilled. I told him, I said, I don't care what any pastor or any God or anybody thinks. My happiness matters. I need sanity. Why would I be married because it's God who's ordained this and I've got no sanity? I've got no my head is not in the right. I said no, no, no. Anyway, cut the long story short, this was supposed to be my soulmate and God ordained and all these things. Less than 6 months later, he was married to my friend. So I'm thinking, oh, I spent 10 years believing that this was all God ordained. I was told to stay, 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 stay. It's your fault. You're not praying hard enough. You're not. But the moment I saw the light and decided enough, straight away he was off being shacked up with another woman. And I'm thinking, okay, so that means all of the things that we were told was a lie. So I had to deconstruct all the nonsense and I had to start, investigating. So what's this religion all about? And you know, and I think the more questions I asked, the more it made no sense. And I just realized this is all a lie. This is all just BS. Bullshit. Can I say that word, Sydney?
My dear lady, you see my BS?
Ah, okay, is that what it means?
That is what it is. So
Okay.
well done to you.
Okay. I said, how can I be in a marriage, what's supposed to be God ordained, and I'm being hit on by the man, and the man is hitting me? The police have to come in several times because the neighbor is concerned for me. He's off on his rant, and to break up. And the worst part of it all is the new marriage. The abuse has continued over there. So now I'm on a mission. People who are like myself are in marriages and relationships, believing that God hates divorce and God has asked me to stay with this person. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as God asking people. And we can you believe in the church then we were told that you had to pray to God for a soulmate, and God will reveal to you who He has designed for you for your existence. And when God reveals that person to you, you're supposed to go to the pastor and go and meet the pastor. Say, God has revealed this person to me. Then you and the pastor pray, and then the pastor will then tell you, yes, you are right. God has ordained. Yeah, this is the person. Now you can go and meet the person, and you can go. People are living in unhappy marriages because they believe that God ordained. It's crazy. The things I believed, the things that I allowed myself to to believe. It's crazy. And now I'm trying to undo all that BS because it is all just BS. So I'm glad that I was able to walk away from the abuse. I was able to take a stand and say no more abuse. And I don't care whether it is God ordained or God. F all that nonsense.
I got
So
a
yeah,
I got a question for you that's kind of been bugging me, and it's
go
kind
on.
of it's probably to a large extent based on my own experience. And let me just give you a background of where I'm coming from before I actually ask the question. I grew up in Africa for the first 20 years under a Dutch Reformed Christian government. Very, very staunch Christian, very, very, like it was horrible. Let me tell you something, it was horrible. I left there and I went to live in Israel for a number of years. That's how I know my Hebrew for the most part. But over there, even though it was a free country, there was still a tangible and palpable religious oppression because of the religious bloc that the government allows for and gives them so much power over internal affairs and whatever. So that to me was not acceptable. Just like the living under a Dutch Reformed Christian regime was not acceptable to me. And then I moved to Canada. And in Canada, it was free of all that. It was an atheist's paradise. And I realized that the second I landed, that this is the place I want to be because I don't have to be any of those other things that I either had to keep my mouth shut or go along with in the other places. My question to you is, you moved from one of those places to a place, to an atheist paradise, England.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How is it that didn't hit you right away, that you were in an atheist paradise and all that nonsense that you'd left behind was there, not here? Carry
Okay,
on.
so when you're going to church and you're going you form a community, right? And so when I moved to this atheist paradise, quote and unquote, I wanted community. I wanted to carry on going to church and serving God and doing all that good stuff. And so I I, I what we were told is the British way of serving God is not the right way. That they're too relaxed, and they're more the what they have is devil worship. They're
My
too
question is more direct than that, though.
Look, what's your question?
Okay, look, when I got here, I saw what the situation was, how free I was from the shackles of what I left, and I didn't look back because that's what I saw. I didn't listen to anybody telling me anything. What you're saying is that you were told certain things about the place that you lived in without you having to go and see for yourself if that was true, sort of fact check. And I don't
That's key.
understand. I just don't understand.
So, Sydney,
Yeah.
you just said something. You just said you saw. You looked and you
Yes.
saw.
Yes.
People look, but they're not seeing. People look, but they're still stuck in their old ways.
How? Why? Is that how?
People,
I don't understand how that is possible when you are in
okay,
in
so
an environment where you're free to open your eyes.
I was free, but I wasn't free. I was still in that marriage. I was still going to the same church, still associating with the same people. What are
That
doing
statement
the
that you just said contradicts the second law of logic. Because you can't be free and not free at the same time.
well, I lived in a free country,
Yeah.
but I wasn't free to do
That's
what I wanted to do.
contradictory.
No, I understand what she's saying. No,
Explain.
you see,
Explain to me.
right? But you're thinking as a male, right? Okay.
Why?
No,
Do you,
okay.
why would you assume that I'm thinking as a male?
Because if you think as a female, you will not say that. Because
How could I possibly think as a female if I've
exactly,
never been a female?
exactly,
A woman is supposed to be subservient. To
correct.
her husband.
That's exactly.
If I was a
African humanist.
female, would I think that I have to be subservient? I don't think so.
No. Okay. Let's start
The
with the
man,
beginning.
the man is the head.
So this seems
man
to be.
dies.
I understand what you're saying now, but this seems to me isolated in the Christian community, because in the community that I grew up in, there wasn't such a a patriarchy of male dominance to the extent of what you are communicating to me right now. This is almost like slavery. What you're talking about is slavery in a small s way.
Sydney, I didn't know at the time that it was slavery. I didn't know that I was in this. I thought that was life. I thought that was
Right.
how things were supposed to be.
Yeah.
That women were naturally under the men had to guide, and the men had to rule. Even the good book says that the women have to submit.
I bet.
The good book. Well done. From whose perspective is it a good book?
Well, I call it the good. Well, that's what they.
Well, if the man reads it like you say, or like BS says, it's a good look, a good book. Sorry, look out for number one says it's a good book. If a female reads it, surely it's not a good book.
Oh no, I'm not saying that's a good book. No, okay, you got me wrong. What I'm saying is I understand where she's coming from. I had a
you
couple
said
friends
that I look at it from a male point of view, and if I
Correct,
read the
because-
Bible as the good book, then I agree. Yes, it's a good book.
No, I'm not talking about the book. Forget the book. I'm talking about her circumstances. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just tongue in cheeking you a little bit.
Okay, good. That's cool. It's your
You
fault
know,
anyway.
What I'm describing is how many millions of people are still believing in a religion and are still following, because a lot of people have never dared to question. A lot of people have never, asked logic and reasoning. Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I follow? I was born into the Christian religion, right? And it was the norm. Mom and dad were. Dad was a pastor. Mom was in the teaching the children. This was the life I was supposed to just naturally just carry on, just going to church and leading by the Bible. But at some point, when I realized that it was doing me more damage than good, then I had to question it and say, okay, if this is what God has designed, then why is it causing me so much harm? Why is it causing me so much um, aggravation? And once I started to question, and once I started to, just look at the book and ask myself the hard questions, that's why today I can call myself an atheist, because I reason my way out of the religion. And when I reasoned my way out of the religion, I didn't actually just go into another religion. No, I decided no, all religions, I want nothing to do with any religions at all. It takes time for a lot of people, Sydney. If you've been born, can you imagine 40 years? I was 40 years old
I couldn't
when I
I
made my
couldn't
way out of
imagine
the,
that. Wow.
yeah.
40, so you were 10 years in an atheist paradise, being living a life of religious submission, and very, very unhappily, I might add.
Well, first of all, you have to understand. Well, put in her shoes, thinking that she's been taught that that is the way, not even the right way. That is the way you have to behave in a not submissive way, but that is the way of the Christian woman, right? To be subservient to the man or to his partner, right, and live that type of life, which is totally awful, right? And that is before you, obviously, before you get married, the mother or the two patriarchs, they teach you that from childhood, so you're almost indoctrinated. So the child growing up think that is the way to be, right? So you do not challenge it, you do not think, right? And she's thinking now because the pressure, the breaking point. She says, "Okay, hold on, I'm going into survival mode," and then she starts thinking for herself and say, "Hold on, this is totally BS." Yeah. First, I need to survive. Yeah, I don't take anybody to beat me up or anything like that. Who the hell you think you are, right? Because it's almost close to be an arranged marriage, right?
Okay,
Because
all right. Let me say something.
yeah.
Because
You're quite right. Absolutely.
I don't think.
You've described this perfect.
I know.
Perfect.
I got friends like that. That's why. That's why I know, and that's why I slightly corrected Sydney. Yeah, because he said, "Why would you do that?" It's not the why. Is how you've been doing that. It's because you've been taught to behave that way, right? So that is not an normal behavior. That is normal
That's it.
behavior.
That's it. And when I now questioned and left the religion, and I am now considered by the majority as not being normal. You know, I'm now looked at now as the outsider. I'm looked at, oh, there's something wrong with her. Oh, she's going through a spiritual attack. She's not quite right up there. That's
Okay, all right. Well, let's
the
touch on that
beliefs of these people.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It is really hard to reason your way out of religion if you've been uh, indoctrinated and
Can I throw
live
another
that
question
life
at
for a
you?
very long time. It's hard.
Can,
And so when I meet people who have deconverted like myself, I want to listen to them, because I think it is a fit. It is an achievement, a big achievement, to challenge what you thought was the norm, what you thought was God's way of living. You know.
Go, Sydney. Go.
okay. So I still have questions for you. I still have a question mark hanging over the first question that I asked you relating to the atheist
So
paradise.
look out for number one. Do you identify what's your beliefs then?
No, I don't believe in any religion, for sure.
Okay.
But I had friends that have gone through what you are going,
Ah,
right? So, and I'm 56, so I understand what you're saying. Trust me,
mm-hmm.
I understand perfectly well what you're saying. Yeah, because I can, um, Yeah, that's it. Leave it like that. Leave it like that. But trust me that I'm in your wave, in your band wave. Yeah, wave band wave.
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm in your frequency.
Can you imagine living a life where they tell you God is watching 24/7? So from the moment you wake up till the time you go to sleep, God is watching you. So you got to wake up, you got to do this, you pray. Oh God, thank you for waking me up and all this good business. Then you carry on as if there's this person watching your every move. You have to go to this establishment, depending on what you call it, church, mosque, whatever. You've got to go to these places, do all these rituals. You've got to, and you cannot. They don't encourage for you to fellowship with unbelievers. That's a no, 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 no. You've got to only associate with people who are of the same religion. You can only marry people of the same religion, and then you have to grow your children. You have to start
Right,
the
right.
children are born in the religion. As the child is born, you take the baby to church for baptism and what do you call it now? We used to call it a dedication. You dedicate the child to God. We were taught that the children don't belong to you. The children belong to God. You are just a what's the word? You're just a guardian until God decides what path that child would go through. But then your duty is to teach that child, because the Bible says to train a child in the way he should go, so that when he is older, he will not depart from from it. He will not depart from the way that you've taught him. So his cycle continues. But I've broken that cycle. My 18-year-old son is an atheist. My 11-year-old, he's more he's more a rational thinking person. Some things don't make sense to him. He said to me, Mom, I don't want to be a Christian anymore. I said, why not, son? He said, I don't like blood. And I was told that Jesus had to die and there was plenty of blood everywhere. He said, Mom, no, 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 no. I don't want to be a Christian. Just he was 9 years old at the time. But then young mind could reason and say, I don't want to be a part of that barbaric act, you know? So I'm glad that the cycle has stopped with me and my children haven't got to be brainwashed.
Cindy, go ahead. Yeah, I was just to say that, but yeah, you go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
congratulations. Well done. But
I don't think I can hear Sydney.
oh, you can't. Can you hear me? Look out for
Yes,
the
yes,
hallway.
yes. He's broadcasting.
Can you hear
Is
me?
he?
I need to. She has to hear me if I'm going to talk to her.
Can you hear Sydney? I can't hear.
Yes, I can. I can hear him. Yeah, sure.
No, I can't.
Okay, well,
Um,
we need to get a resolution on this.
oh,
Okay.
you know what? I'll come back in. I can't hear anything.
Okay, that worked last time.
Sure.
Is Crypto coming in? She's got her coffee now, so she's down to our insanity level. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear
Beautiful.
you before.
Wow, that's so you didn't hear my question, or did I ask my
No,
question? That's what
No,
I,
you
I
didn't.
didn't ask.
You
I
did
haven't
not ask
asked
a
my
question.
question because you couldn't
Correct.
hear me.
Come on,
Okay.
get it right.
I'm sorry.
God, these people.
Okay, so I'm still I'm still confused regarding the atheist paradise that I outlined and that we agreed that we both landed in. So you land in this atheist paradise, and immediately you start, as I did, of course, because you don't know anybody, you don't know places, blah blah blah. So you find yourself at home watching a lot of TV. Now, that influence that you get watching the TV from the very moment you land in the country should be a catalyst to opening your mind immediately. So what I don't understand, get to the point here, is how come 10 years is what it took instead of 10 seconds or 10 days?
Because of the control.
Sydney.
No, but when you're watching TV on your own, there's no one's controlling your thoughts when you're watching TV and you're watching all these shows that give various different points of views and various different human emotions and blah blah blah, and you pick up on that, you know.
Yeah, but
and
are you hold on? Are you talking about when she was married?
I'm talking about when she hit the UK.
It doesn't matter when she go. I'm in the UK as well. That doesn't the location is indifferent. Right?
Why? Okay, here's the situation. Okay.
Right.
Horrible marriage, horrible husband, horrible everything, controlling. But he goes to work, and she's got 2 hours to watch TV. And I'm not saying you necessarily, African humanist, but anyone in the same position has got 2 hours to watch TV and watches the show that is sort of modern and features points of view that you haven't really been exposed to. How do you react to that and still hold on to the I'm only a woman, therefore I deserve to be suppressed for 10 years? Can you answer that?
I think, in my opinion, Sydney, you must understand that no two people are the same.
I understand that.
How we come to conclusions differ a lot. You might take 10 seconds to come to a conclusion. I might take 20 years. It depends on the lots of things that stop people. At least I can say I woke up. I saw the light. There's some people that would never ever see the light, and yet they're in the UK. They still carry on going to this believing in this religious.
What is the population of these people in your community or ex-community who do this? Because I'm comparing them to the population of the population of the same fanaticism on the Muslim side of the story, right? But they're more sort of visible. So how many people are we talking about in your situation?
I haven't got that answer. I wouldn't know.
Right.
But you do, before I came to the UK was regarded as a Christian nation, right?
I've never regarded the UK as a Christian nation.
I'm telling you that the belief is that a lot of people still believe that the UK is a Christian nation. And why? Because the Church of England, the Queen is the head of the Church of England. And the Church of England is still very involved in policies and, albeit not so much these days, but they still have a stronghold here in the UK. And so
yeah,
there's still religious people. Maybe not a lot. Maybe the numbers are going down by the minute, by the second, by the day. But the UK is still regarded, for some people, I think. What do you think? Look out for number one. What do you think?
I concur with your assessment. Yeah, it's always been controlled by religion, right? Although, or even up there on the top.
Have you seen what's happening in Canada regarding talking about religion and control, with and the bodies that are being found in the Catholic residential schools that were part of the Catholic residential school system of Canada, where they went into Native Indian houses and took the young children and forced them into these schools and punished them every time they spoke their original language or showed any of their original culture. It was like a little concentration camp for 150 years of indigenous culture genocide, cultural genocide. And then, of course, now it's become a human genocide because all these bodies are being found. There's been 1,000 at least. And that's just a tip in the bucket. That was just on my mind when you... something
Why
you
am I
said
not? Why
triggered
am I not surprised? Okay, people like to control people. That's an unfortunate fact. Okay, because you let somebody get control of shall we call resources, any type of resources or anything like that, you automatically wield your power against anybody for your own benefit, you or your family's benefit, or your society's benefit, right? Whatever, yeah. But the bottom line is that whoever controls can dictate how the wheel goes, what direction the stuff might go to. Okay, and as simple as that. And from politics to religion to social behavior, you name it, doesn't matter, right? And then it gets funneled down through the family system, right? Mainly the man as the patriarch, right? And then the woman is the lesser role, right? The taking care of, right, of the man, the children, and don't you dare speak to the rest of people, don't even communicate, right? And when you said about watching television, that's probably her window of freedom, right? Or her escape from reality, yeah. And I can well imagine just having 5 minutes of television or radio or even here, right? And it is a relief, man. It's a relief, and it should not be that way, in the sense that women should not be subjective to that type of oppression, right? But she managed to break. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And carry on and try to raise your children the way you want to be to be treated, and simple as that.
Well, she mentioned something very, very important. African humanist did.
Everything she said was important.
One particular thing I want to point out, what I think that sort of stood out, was that there are so many women in the position that she was in that can't or won't or don't have the belief that they can extricate themselves from the situation. So maybe it would be a good idea, African humanist, to try and reach out to these women through the YouTubes. What do you think?
Hold on. Yes, that's a good idea. Well, it is a good idea, but you have to think about something.
Well,
In Christian-dominated families, the man is the one who controls the income, shall we say, right?
Yes.
Because therefore the woman, or the female partner, is unable to break free of the cycle. It's basically indentured servitude. Basically, she's the woman is the slave in the Christian world. Period. I don't care who says what, but it is what it is. Okay, and if you don't have the financial mean or a way to say I need help, right? She cannot even say I need help, because what's she gonna do? She's got her own family, right? That she has to take care of, and the only way that money comes in is through the husband, right? And obviously she does not control that the financial aspect of it, right? So she is bound by the kids, by the family, and she has to take it, right? And that is mega frustrated, right? And even if we open the doors to these ladies being abused one way or the other, right? The only freedom they can get is, first of all, be heard, right? That's the most important thing. That there's a way for them to vent out, shall we say, right? That the frustration that they are being held. Yeah. Second is it is very difficult because you can imagine this lady, right? She got the husband that's been working or whatever, and she's trying to break through out or free, yeah, right. The only way she do that is to move away from that environment and be independent. Yeah, get her own accommodation, get her own job or whatever, right? And then once she do that, she start thinking for herself, which is the survival part of it, right? But in the meantime, that would never ever happen, right? Before that, because the woman is being subjugated by the man. Oh, sorry, the wife is subjugated by the husband, by the Christian husband, right? And you have to be for her to survive in the Christian world, she has to dance the husband's tune, right, or the Christian tune. Yeah, she could have her own money, for example, if she would have been a pastor of some sort, right, helping out, right. That's probably the only way she can get her own money and then get her own freedom, basically buying her freedom away, right. But apart from that, or having a non-profit organization be able to help her break free from the shackles. And I'm not thinking that I'm that far from the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, and it's sometimes women don't even know where to start.
Correct.
Looking for solutions or looking for the answers, and you know, when I started, I had to go undercover, right, to go and seek counseling because my husband did not believe in marriage counseling, did not believe that anybody needed to go and seek any form of counseling at all. So can you imagine hiding just to go and get some self therapy for myself? So it's just in some cases it's not as easy as one, two,
No,
three, and ABC.
no.
You know?
Actually, you say a good point, right? For example, they start to trying to liberate these ladies, right? One will say that hear your side of the story. Yeah, you could be the voice of their freedom, basically, right? And and they can relate. Obviously, they will immediately relate to that, right? And then you need the psychological part of it, getting help, right? And you are correctly doing sort of like undercover, right? That would be an alternative because the husband, the downfall of the Christian husband or the abusive Christian husband is that they have to work, right? So if you can um, leave and seek help whilst the abuser is working, then is a plus to you, right? Like probably the way you did it, right? And then you start, oh, do I have these options? Okay, how do I go about it? Oh, you report it, you do this, you do that, you fill out a couple of forms, and then you start the proceeding like that. I'm talking about the legal aspect of it, right? To get so you got the right to be protected, right? Um, Especially if you if you live in a democratic world, right? But and that's it, and carry on from there, and then you join this type of discussions where you can actually freely vent out and feel what's the right way? For example, it look. Sorry, go on.
Like feel secure, feel protected,
You feel liberated. Yeah, it's like
liberated, but also not in fear of being retaliated against.
correct, and that is impossible if the affected female does not leave the premises.
Oh, gotta
That's
leave,
that
gotta leave.
that's
Yeah.
that's a given,
Oh yeah,
right?
gotta go. It's like It's like that's what you leave Nigeria for.
Yeah, well,
It's,
definitely. Yeah. Well, yeah.
unfortunately, and like you said, African humanist, You come here, you join a community that is identical to the one you left in your old country, and nothing changes. It's just not so difficult to pay the bills anymore, or whatever.
Absolutely. A lot of people, that's the thing. For people, it's easy to just go with what we know than to, go out there and try something different, test the waters. Oh, what's on the other side? We're taught that what's on our side is the good side. Our religion is the way. If you don't believe in this religion, you're going to hell. And so, and then fear. That's another thing, fear. The
Yes.
fear that God is going to be angry if you dared to step out, if you dared to question, you're going to burn in this eternal lake of fire. And it's just breaking away from that fear and challenging yourself and challenging the norm. I I still pat myself on the back and say well done for even um, questioning and just making your way out. I pat myself on the back.
If
I
I were a believer, I would believe that when I got to face God, I believe that I could take him. I could take
What do
him.
you mean?
I could take him in a one-on-one and beat the shit out of him, but maybe even terminate him.
Oh
Like-
yeah, but
like-
hold on. You come in. No, hold on.
okay,
You're
yeah.
coming through the perspective that you're actually thinking, right? Remember, the
No, I'm
Christianity-
dead. I'm dead, right?
No,
So
no, you're
how
still
can I
still
think?
there.
How can
No,
I
no,
think? I'm
no, no.
dead.
So okay. I'll rephrase it. But before you were there, you were Christian.
No, I just believed in God, but I hated God because of what he did, because of what he does, and all the scriptures, and all the anger, and all the killing, and all the so I'm really angry at God, right? So now
Actually,
I'm
well,
in heaven.
Well,
I don't
actually,
think
yeah, go on.
I don't think you will find believers that are angry at God. No. The,
Right.
Sure,
opposite,
you will. Of course, you will.
the opposite is the case.
Yeah,
They
I
love
agree.
God. God is good, and He is good all the time. And they
No,
tell you,
no. That's only for Christians.
Correct. So I'm missing. We're missing the point here. So
yeah,
put again your scenario from the beginning. Before you were before you
Okay,
died.
let me give you background. Okay, I
Right.
grew up in a very secular Jewish community.
Sure.
And in the Jewish culture, in the Jewish tradition, it's okay to be angry with God. No problem. Be angry with God if you feel anger. Don't hold back. But you have to believe that God exists. Sure, you can be angry at him, but he still exists, right? So that's kind of where I come from in terms of this story. Okay? So I'm angry with God. I'm a Jew. I'm angry with God. Yes, God exists, but I'm fucking angry with God. Now I die, and I'm in heaven. I believe that I, Sidney Winston, the greatest atheist of them all, I can take this God down.
What?
I can defeat him physically, in a battle, 1-to-1. Fuck him. I'll just fuck you, God.
Well, if the old man made a universe,
No,
I'm not saying I'm not saying that he did it.
Forget about that. That's all.
Okay.
If I'm facing God right now, and I'm fucking angry at this God
Okay.
to the point where I believe that I have the powers of the Terminator.
Oh, now you put in you changing the parameters. Okay. If
No,
you- if-
I'm angry. Nothing's going to stop me from taking
No,
on
no,
this
no, but
cunt
you
of
say
a
you
God,
got- if-
I'm going to beat the shit out. I'm going to kill him.
Okay, knock yourself out then.
I'm going to kill this God. Once he's dead, he's gone, and nobody has a problem.
Okay, I'll ring the bell.
See, I need someone to raise my hand, raise my arm.
Eye of the
That's how
tiger.
I would see my life after I die, if I was a angry at God theist. which that conclusion of me taking out God, of course, is ridiculous, right? Just imagine
Right.
taking out. But the whole idea of God, the concept of God itself, is ridiculous. So the image of me having a battle with God is not that ridiculous, considering that God itself is.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Ridiculous.
That's like I'm gonna give you an analogy, but in perspective, right? Come down to
In
to
whose
planet Earth.
perspective?
Yes, for example, let's say a criminal is pissed off to Al Capone, right? Yeah, I says I'm gonna beat the shit out of him, right?
Okay.
No, you ain't. Yeah, no, you ain't.
Well, you
You're
don't
gonna-
find that out until you face him. But until you face him,
you would not even-
you
you-
believe that you're going to beat the shit out of him.
No. Believe and knowing is two different things.
Not
Yeah,
when
you
it
can
comes
be-
to the future.
What you what are you talking about? What-
With your analogy with your
It was the same. It's the same. You're talking about somebody
exactly.
with
Let me
power.
talk about that. Let me talk about
Yeah, go on.
that. Okay, so I hate Al Capone, and I think that when I meet him, I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah,
Okay, I really believe that because I hate him so much.
sure.
So I'm facing Al Capone now with all my hate and rage, and I'm ready to beat the shit out of him. Yet I get gunned down in a hail of bullets.
Right.
Doesn't matter that I still believed that I was going to take him out until the point that I got gunned down in a hail of bullets,
Right. No, that's fine.
and
That's
my
fine.
anger was still not misplaced.
No, you probably enjoyed your defeat.
Right. So this is the same thing. Whatever happens is irrelevant to my anger, hatred, and knowledge that I'm going to kick the shit out of God and kill him. I'm going to kill God because of what he's done, and I'm so angry.
But the problem
It's
with
not a
that
problem.
is-
It's
No, hold on.
imaginative.
I understand. But there's a conceptual problem.
It's not.
Right.
Oh, really? Okay, tell me.
Yeah, let me finish. The mere fact that you put a even if it conceptual, you put a supernatural power, character. Call it Thor, call it Odin, call it Satan, call it God, call it whatever you want to call it. This is an individual, a being with supreme power, and a mere mortal is pissed off about his or her behavior or its behavior, right? Where that entity has got no. He or she is not bothered because your influence is minuscule, right?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse
Yes,
me.
sir.
Look out for number one.
Yes.
Did I not preface my diatribe with "I am Sidney Winston, the greatest atheist ever in the universe,
Oh,
a
yeah,
worthy opponent"?
Oh, if that's the case, if you got the same sort of tools,
I have anger at the level of this God that I'm angry at.
right? So you got to go one on one with the same.
There you go. See?
Right.
You can't limit your mind to.
So basically, you're a Rocky Balboa.
There you go.
There you go.
Rocky Balboa. I think from that conversation Sydney was talking about now, there are some people that we get offended with you for even trying to equate yourself to their God.
I know that makes it even more hilarious, considering that the God is imaginary.
Yeah.
An imaginary friend.
How dare you?
How dare you?
My God. Huh?
Yeah, how dare you add imaginary stories to my imaginary story?
Yeah, but that in a nutshell is called freedom. Freedom to say whatever you want.
That's right.
Yes.
It's like the heresy of taking a J.K. Rowling book of what's that guy's name? Harry Potter.
Yeah.
and changing it around and adding and subtracting stuff, putting your own stuff in and adding, blasphemy. But at the same time, it's all fiction.
Oh, guess what? Sydney, a couple of days ago, actually, a couple of days, or was it yesterday? Shit, I forgot. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Right.
I sent you a link on one of your videos, right? Because you were talking about hell, I think it was, or something like that, yeah. And it's a YouTube video about a Australian comedian that he gives a very very reasonable understanding of, in a comedy way, about the devil.
I watched that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeffrey. It's called Jeffrey something.
Jeffrey, yes,
Jeffrey.
yes.
Jeffrey something. Yeah,
Yeah, I watched
which
that.
it makes sense. It makes sense, right? Because we learn about hell from the God's perspective, right? And the analogy, you change God and, well, not God, you change Satan with Al Capone, right? And it is impossible for you to have a bad life in hell if you've been bad, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
Exactly. I'm looking
of course,
forward to it.
Indeed.
My Christian
because,
friends are doing me a favor by
oh, Jesus,
threatening
Christ,
me
yeah.
or telling me that if I don't repent, I'm going to hell. Thank you. Ooh.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I can't wait
So, yeah,
to
very
not
good.
prepare to go to hell.
Sydney, I've
Yeah.
got a question for you.
Please.
So, I consider myself a new YouTuber, content creator,
Yes.
right? I'd love to do more of some of the stuff that you do, just reviewing videos of people who have left religion, because I'm not long left the religion myself, and I've still got a lot of people who are still religious, and I'm hoping that they would come on my channel and just see some of the stuff that I put out there, and maybe have the opportunity to question some of their beliefs. So I just wanted to know, how do you how do you broadcast? What do you use to go on live? A lot of people use StreamYard, and I've tried.
You use StreamYard, don't you?
I do. I do use StreamYard, but I use the free version, and the cheapest one is $25 a month. I think $25 or £20 a month. I'm not sure. So I just wanted to know.
How does the free version not serve your purposes?
It's limited with what you can do, and you only get a certain number of hours.
Oh, really?
A week or month.
I've never used StreamYard, so I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's a commercial enterprise, and I don't fall in. I'm not in the market of being commercialized to. So what I use is an open source program called OBS Studio.
I got that one as well. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Now, open source means it's free, and anybody can use it.
And you can stream for as many hours as you want.
For as many hours until time runs out.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Hold on. So you got the chat. Right. African Humanist, have you got your chat open?
My chat. Let's go have a look.
Not on the YouTube. I'm talking about on this chat.
In the conversation room.
Where can I find it?
It's at the bottom right.
Info message.
Bottom right, it looks like a little page icon.
I'm using my iPad.
Right. Okay. No, that's fine. Have you got a way to see text in this chat, in this meeting room?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Can you see what I just posted?
Yes, I see something now.
Can you see something what I wrote already?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
well, first of all, my suggestion, and probably Sydney will say the same. You copy that text, right, and put it into YouTube, and say OBS Studio tutorials.
Tutorials. There you go.
Right, you start from there. Okay, you start from there. You get a feeling of what they first of all, as what correctly Sydney said, is absolutely 110% free. Right, right. So that's out of the
Without restrictions.
That's out of the question, out of the thing. Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Okay.
now you're gonna learn how to use it, and there is 100 million YouTube videos on how to do it.
Yeah.
Right, from live streaming, from gaming, from
Setup.
setup. Correct. Well done. Correct. From actually setting up and doing everything. Right. Plus, when you do it and you feel comfortable with the equipment you got, i.e. webcam or mic, then you can start asking Sydney, oh, how do you do that? How do you do that? And then any of us can tell you, okay, this is how I do it. This is how he does it. And then you modify or you copy the same principle.
Yeah, a lot of it is just trying things on your own and just,
Well, yeah, first is learning. Learning.
no, yeah,
yeah.
once you got through the
YouTube
basics, yeah.
YouTube is the best university of the world. Right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
You can learn any bullshit through YouTube free of charge. Right?
Absolutely.
Good things and bad things, but you can easily get the good things. Right? You can get it. Right? And then you start learning and then, oh, okay, I dig this. And then guess what? You become more
Educated.
proficient.
Let me
Yeah,
ask you, can I ask a question regarding StreamYard?
Go on.
If I were to pay, or if you were to pay the £20 or even the highest premium, whatever you get, whatever the highest premium is, what do you get that I can't present using OBS Studio?
Now, I wouldn't be able to answer that question because I've never used OBS Studio.
No, I know, but okay. For StreamYard, the premium, what is it that you get that you can't do on StreamYard free?
I don't know. All I was told was StreamYard is the easiest. It's easy to use.
Okay,
And
so
I like-
let's
I
assume
like easy.
that you said the hours are limited, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Unless
let's
you-
assume that premium means unlimited hours. So you're paying for unlimited hours. You also said that the number of people in the stream is limited.
Yes.
Okay, so let's assume that premium increases the number of people in the stream to, I don't know, whatever, unlimited. What else is there that you're restricted?
probably
The number-
bandwidth.
the number of
Bandwidth.
people- The
Bandwidth
number
in,
of people you can have on having a conversation, and there are certain things that you won't be able to do. So like what do you call it now? The comments and when people put their names, some things you get some restrictions. Some things are restricted to you.
all right. Okay. Well,
what's
if
the
you were to pay premium and all those restrictions were lifted, would StreamYard still be easy to use?
Well, I wouldn't know the answer to that because I haven't tried something else. I want to try something else.
Okay.
I
Well,
like how
OBS is all that I mentioned.
Mhm.
So your interest in OBS is well founded, and good luck in your YouTube tutorial quest.
Furthermore,
Mhm.
African humanist, have you got or have you got? Let me say this: are you able to use any type of graphic program?
graphic program.
Okay. I'll rephrase it. Do you see my logo?
Your logo, yes, I see your
Right.
logo.
Well, I did it. Okay, in a graphic program, right? But the reason I'm saying this is because you can sooner or later you will have to do
An avatar,
your avatars or your graphics for your presentations,
your
Mhm.
image, feature
right?
image.
Whatever, or your YouTube template and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So that also helps, and OBS Studio has got zero restrictions with that,
Okay.
right? right? So,
Right.
my advice. Look, listen, go and check the YouTube video on how to start, and then trust me, this is like opening your world to any possibility, right? You feel almost as liberated as what happened to you, basically. Yeah, instead of between StreamYard and OBS, right?
Yeah.
It's the same connotation, right?
I was of the opinion when I watched StreamYard presentations that StreamYard has some kind of an overlay option that people use. I'm not sure if that's true but there seems to be, because they've got this section there where the YouTube chats kind of appear, and they all seem to have that. Whereas I got to do something like like that. Then I can see all the YouTube chats. Talking about the YouTube chats, let's have a look.
I think that's called watermark. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, because the watermark. Yeah, watermark. When somebody does not pay a subscription and the product is somewhat free.
It says StreamYard at the bottom. Yes, it does.
Exactly. So you're forced to see it, basically.
It's not a watermark. It's just it's like it's like when you drive a car, the name of the brand and everything is on the car. That is a watermark. Although it's not, fair enough.
Okay, normally watermark it was some sort of transparent, yeah, to hide, well, not to hide,
to compensate for the fact that it's free. I don't have that. Yeah. I don't have to see. You don't have to see OBS Studio anywhere on the
Correct.
screen.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what. Now I just noticed that an old Mental Outlaw is in the chat. Now, Mental Outlaw is an old Google Hangouter from many, many years ago. Hi.
Mental Outlaw.
Yeah. He does IT technology stuff on the internet. I've watched some of his. I have no idea what he's talking. He's like his technology level is way above what I can even. He talks about like different programs that people use and programming and graphics and illustrate. Beyond me, even weird email programs that I can't figure out. But that's a level above where what I can understand. He can come in. I'd like to catch up with him and see what he's doing these days.
So I'm going to head off now. But I'll be in the chat.
Why are you heading out of here?
Mind your own business.
Sydney, I've
Yes.
got to go. I'm just gonna have a shower, and I can't take my iPad with me.
Okay. All right then. Are you going to come back?
I can't take the iPad with me in the shower.
Why not? You could wrap it in plastic.
Wrap it in plastic. No, but Sydney, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in the chat. I'll take the iPad with me, right? And I can engage, but I just wouldn't be able to do any talking.
That is quite perfectly fine with me, as long as you are connected to the show.
Once I'm done with the shower, trust me, I will be in the chat because I can see Cryptomaria. I love Cryptomaria. I absolutely adore that woman.
Well, I hope she joins, and if she joins, you'll come in too. No, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Off you go.
The other day.
No. Off you go.
Okay.
Hurry up.
Listen, look out for number one. It was nice having this conversation with you.
Yes, lady. Hold on for a second before you go. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me do something. Let me do something.
What you do?
There you are. This is the ugly mud.
Look at him. Right. Hey,
There
no,
you go.
no,
Look at that. He's
this is
brave.
this is Sydney.
Yes.
That's a very handsome man there.
No,
Hey.
he's ugly.
You,
That-
He's
you
ugly.
that's
know
a
what?
very handsome
You know what?
man.
You know what? You might be onto something there.
That's
Huh?
a very handsome man right there.
All right.
I like
well,
what I see.
well, you know, the one thing you know for sure, he's within a stone's throw distance from you because you both live in the UK.
I know that. So look out for number. Is that your name on YouTube? Look out for number one.
Yeah, well, I've got five YouTube channels, so
There
yeah,
you
this
go.
is the, this is this is the,
You're
this is
one
the
of
only
those.
this is the only one
So,
for
You,
beating the religious.
you can
I'm
take
I'm
it.
the equivalent of the bad cop.
Oh, so what's your channel now? Because I need to find you on.
You can send him an email privately. Just think of that.
Okay, all right then. If you can you follow me then with whatever whatever username, and then
The American Humanist. Yeah, is that you?
the African.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
The American
Okay,
humanist.
it's okay. Don't worry. Don't it's either.
No, it's nothing to worry about. It's just laughing.
These mistakes are easily made.
Of course, we do them all the time, but other people laugh at me, so I'm gonna laugh at you. Ha ha.
Okay, if you can follow me, then at least I know which one.
Mental
Out of the
Outlaw, please come. Hey, let me go and say hi to Mental Outlaw.
Mental Outlaw. I love that
Yeah,
name.
isn't it a great name? It is. I need a shave.
Okay,
Come-
Sydney.
Right, I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
You got me?
Hold on.
Oh,
Subscribe to all.
Sorry.
Right,
Let's go
that's
back
done.
there. Ah,
Fantastic. Thank you. And I'll be in the chat, guys. I'll be in the chat.
good.
Good.
Right.
All right, guys. See you
Ugly-
later.
Bye-bye.
The ugly face is gone.
No.
There you go. No reason to stay. Off you go. Bye-bye. Some people just need a little bit of motivation.
Yes.
I'm like that, actually. I need a kick in the ass to in order to do something. Good thing my own feet reach my ass, so I can kick myself.
Too much info.
I didn't ask you to imagine it. Well, I asked Mental Outlaw and Crypto to join us. So, while we're waiting for either or both of them to join us, I need you to tell me where you are from originally.
Oh, that's easy. I was born here in the UK. My father was Spanish, so I was raised in the Canary Islands, Spain.
Where the hell's that?
That's a northeast coast of Africa. No, sorry, northwest coast of Africa. By the Sahara Desert, yeah. But on the sea, there's 7 islands there called the Canary Islands, a Spanish subject.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish.
Oh, so you have a Spanish accent. I was trying to figure out what it. Okay.
Yeah, Spanish accent. Yeah.
Because usually when I see guys like you, you're from Romania.
I've been told that. Trust me, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not the first one. You're not gonna be the last one.
Right.
But the old
See,
thing you say.
I racially
You know,
I racially
you know-
profiled you. You know that.
Yeah,
right?
that's cool. But I got the answer because I'm already immune to that. I says, my mother used to say, "Do not judge a book by its cover."
Did she tell you to read the book though?
Yeah, but you judge him by the title.
Oh, not by the cover, but by the title. Oh, all right.
Well, do not judge the book by the book by its cover. The cover, it will say the title, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
or whatever. So
Oh,
basically,
wow,
you read it.
okay. You read the title. Don't judge the book by the title. Got it.
Yeah. So you read the title instead of reading the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you talking fiction or non-fiction?
What are you talking about? No, it's a say. It's a say. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, a non-fiction book or a fiction book.
Any book.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Basically, don't judge a book by by the title because it could be misleading. Or, for example, like don't judge a YouTube video by its thumbnail. That would be the analogy. Yeah, because you have a clickbait.
Yeah. Oh, I get clickbaited so many times by just what you said. Yeah.
Exactly. So don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge
Either the image or the title. And then it just
anything. But it says the cover, so it does the content of the first page, or the cover itself.
The cover that they show you as the thumbnail.
Yeah. The content. Yeah.
The one that you upload as your thumbnail, that thing. Those guys aren't coming back. Aren't coming in. Mental Outlaw is you're big into software these days. So why don't you chime in, or come on in and tell us about? It seems to be that a lot of people want to go out and do these kind of live streams, Mental Outlaw, and you seem to be one of the most educated and practiced people in doing this type of stuff, and also you explain it well. So why can't you at some point, i.e. right now, come on in and help get some people started in open source software and live streaming, so they don't have to rely on this fake money grabbing StreamYard. That would be a good way to sort of end out the show, rather than just us saying, "Well, that's pretty much it."
Yep. I'm cool.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi there.
Welcome back.
Thanks, man. It's been, what, a few years?
Oh, many years. Yeah, you were, what, 21, I think, at the time? Maybe not even. I don't know how old you are now. You're probably like 40.
I'm 26 right now.
There you go. Okay, so it's been 5-6 years.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. It's been an adventure.
Yeah. I really applaud and admire the change you've made in your direction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really even care about like debating religion and politics and people anymore. I mean, maybe politics to some degree, but I don't think my politics are really allowed on YouTube. So I try to keep things fairly apolitical.
That's exactly what I've decided. No politics.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's one of those things where you're really just putting yourself in a camp, and you tend to ostracize a lot of people. And then I also wonder how much good it really does, like, put out into the world, right?
Zero.
Me just giving my opinions, and then maybe someone copies my opinions because they feel like I'm some kind of influencer or something. So yeah, talking about random tech and email protocols and the stuff that you were talking about, that's more my alley now.
Yeah, that's more what I prefer too, because politics is something that you can ridicule, you can make satire of, but to go and be, take a side is dangerous on this platform.
Yeah. So yeah, that's more what I'm into now. And also talking about John McAfee, who did not kill himself, and his Dead Man Switch. That's kind of what I'm into right now.
I saw a video where he actually tweeted, if I ever commit suicide, I didn't kill myself, and he had a tattoo on his arm which says, and he says, if I ever die of suicide, I didn't kill myself. I've made a tattoo and it's on my arm, and he showed a picture of whacked. I mean, not a picture. He wrote,
Yeah.
he got whacked, tattooed on his arm, and he says, I didn't commit suicide, I got whacked.
Yeah, whacked is so I just did a video about it.
Oh, good.
Whacked is
Okay.
his. So whacked is actually $ WHACKD is the ticker for a cryptographic token that John McAfee created,
Okay.
and the smart contract activated after his death. So that was his dead man switch, or at least it's one aspect of his dead man switch.
So explain what happens when the switch is on.
So the switch activating allows anybody to go and buy that token if they want. So it's you could think of it like a stock, or actually, okay, Doge is like a fairly normie cryptocurrency. So you can think of it like Doge, right? If you were in Doge when it was like worth 1 penny, and then you sold when it went to 50 cents, then you could have made a lot of money. So some people think it's like that, where you can get in at a low price and it might pump, and then you can sell it off and make some money. There's
scheme.
also, so this is just theory, what I'm about to talk about now. So like I have no facts to back this up, but people think that that's connected to a data dump of dirt that McAfee had on the elites, like, you know, government, high-ranking people in corporations. So that's why Whacked is gaining some traction, is because people think once this coin goes to a certain price, or once a certain amount is burned, because it's hyper deflationary, that an NFT is going to be generated, which will probably be a link to a torrent, and then people will be able to download this and look through the dirt on their own.
Oh, good. I'm a member of a torrent site. Perfect.
So yeah, that's like that's what I'm into recently. Oh, and then also shitting on Windows 11.
Oh, when's that coming out? And what's the difference between what we're using now and that?
Well, it's already out. Well, the developer version is out. I haven't followed up if they release like the real version.
No, not yet.
As far as the differences, more spyware. It's basically a reskin of Windows 10. The taskbar looks a little different. There's not a whole lot of differences.
Yeah, round the corners instead of in vertices.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I read about that. Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's still spyware at the end of the day. I wouldn't recommend anybody use it, and certainly don't run it on bare metal.
Why? What are you hiding?
That's a good one.
because this is spyware, and Windows 11 is also spyware. I don't really mind. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I guess it's because I can do something about it, right? Like, I'm obviously gifted and talented when it comes to tech to some degree. I'm definitely not like a super genius, but I can install a free open source Linux distribution. I can do everything I need to do within it. I don't run Windows except at work, like at my day job.
Right.
Like I was saying in the chat, I make all of my videos using free open source software. I don't use proprietary software. Well, I do use some. I mean, I'm using some now to talk to you guys. But as far as my YouTube channel goes and like creating videos and, you know, like making money, because of course my channel's monetized, I do it all free software. I use OBS, I use GIMP to make the thumbnails.
Yeah.
You've got a vested interest. You're into it for one thing, and that's the main thing, I guess. I couldn't really, you know.
It's really not that hard to get into, though. Like you could probably, you're using Windows now, right?
Yeah.
You could probably install Linux Mint and use it no problem.
I tried that.
What would be the benefits to me?
Okay, so let me try to do this without going on too long. So, if you are using a proprietary operating system, that means, or any proprietary software, that means that you cannot view the source code of it. Okay? So it's using something you can't view the source code of, I would equate it to signing a contract that you haven't read, because you have no idea what this program is doing. So if you're inside of Windows, there's no way for you to know whether or not every web address you go to gets reported to Microsoft. There's no way to know whether or not they harvest your data. We actually do know for a fact, I wish I had it linked, but we know for a fact that one thing the Windows operating systems do is they send hashes of any image that you download to your computer, and then that hash is checked against a repository of hashes of known child pornography. I would say, so it's one of those things where we would say maybe the ends justify the means, but I don't think it does, because so there's a couple of problems with it. One is it's one of those, it's just an image, right? So an image can get on somebody's computer fairly easily. Like if I wanted to frame you for something, I could probably get it on your computer. And then that hash automatically gets sent out and then you're arrested. That's one problem with it. Yeah, good luck with that. Police are terrible at investigating cybercrime. Good luck with that. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Okay. So maybe the way that this is set up, you feel like the ends justify the means, right? What if all pornography becomes criminalized tomorrow, just like it is in like Saudi Arabia or some of these other like very conservative countries? Do you have any pornography on your computer at all? How do you? Right, not that you know of. Okay, so if pornography becomes well, if that becomes illegal, then it can obviously be found out very easily because Microsoft is already sending hashes of all of your images. So all they need to do is update the repository to contain those hashes as well. Well, the thing is, laws don't mean anything if they can't be enforced. It's just words on paper. And something like that can't really be enforced unless you either A, are going to get a search warrant for every single American, well, you're Canadian, every single person's computer, in the world, or you can just have everybody use an operating system that is telling the government and Microsoft what's on there.
No, it's got tags. It's got more information than that. Don't look at the pixels. It's got other. It's what's the name of it? Oh, you can say it better than me.
Well, so the point that I'm making, as far as it just being words on paper. Like, okay, let's say that the government decides to make Monero illegal. So that's a cryptocurrency, but it's a privacy coin. So it's not, you can't really trace it like you can with Bitcoin. How would you enforce Monero being illegal? How are you going to take my Monero? How are you going to make sure no one else is buying Monero? You can't.
But Kenny, there are many things that the government would like to make illegal, but can't or won't because it's impossible to enforce. This might be just one of them.
Yeah, and my point, well, this is my point, is that if you're using a operating system that doesn't do things like this, then you're right, it's not enforceable. Because the only other way you could enforce that would be to either manually hack everybody's computers and then view what they're doing that way, which might end up violating different constitutional rights.
They've succeeded in China.
Yeah, of course they've succeeded in China, but
so is that what you're afraid of? Us becoming another China?
So with respect to the technology, what I'm afraid of is everybody uses technology, right? Everybody uses a computer, and this technology is becoming more and more locked down as time goes on, and it's getting more and more dystopian. Like Windows, if we talk about Windows XP, it didn't do all this stuff. And the reason it didn't do it is because people's networks weren't good enough. Like you couldn't have your dial-up would be constantly clustered up, trying to send all this telemetry that modern versions of Windows send out. Now you can do it. So now everyone who's using a Windows computer, and this also goes for Mac OS as well, although there's less documented evidence of them doing this, these companies can spy on you. They can see everything that you're doing on the computer, right? And the pornography example is probably not a good example. Like, let's take it to illegal text, illegal images, illegal videos, like anything that can just easily be marked illegal. Like, there's countries where Mein Kampf is illegal. So if you have a PDF of Mein Kampf on your computer and you're using Windows, they can tell that you have that, and then they can come arrest you.
And what are they going to do with you?
I don't know.
Are they going to torture you on the rack upside down?
So I think it goes country by country as far as like how much time you get for having Mein Kampf, or I guess that would be covered by a broader law of like outlying Nazi things.
How many people would have to be arrested, and how much space would have to be accommodated, and how much money would have to be spent housing and feeding? It would be like a gulag.
Yeah, it could be. It could be just like the gulags they have in China right now.
Exactly, but you're predicting the end game, but you're not allowing for everything that precedes the end game, which makes the fact that you can't, that the police can come to you for a PDF of Mein Kampf kind of minuscule, because you're way past the point of it really meaning anything if you've got to the point of Mein Kampf being able to be sniffed out on your computer by the operating system.
That's the point, though. It can be. If you're
I understand that, but society has disintegrated, or there's been a revolution, a social revolution of some sort, and there's upheaval on the streets, not just police arriving at your door.
What, if Mein Kampf was illegal? Isn't it illegal in Germany?
Not anymore.
But it was for some time, right?
Yeah, there was a statute of limitations that ran out.
Okay, so obviously Germany didn't turn into a dystopian country.
Yeah, well
that
say the scriptures are illegal in North Korea and China.
Right. So
definitely in North Korea.
Yeah. Well, North Korea is a little extreme, right? That's obviously a
do you
dictatorship.
think North Korea exactly? Do you think North Korea should be actually allowed to survive? Do you think Hitler should have been allowed to survive if he wasn't strong enough to attack anyone?
What? Do I think he should be allowed to survive if he couldn't attack anyone?
Yeah, if Hitler wasn't strong enough to attack anyone and didn't attack Poland, would he have been allowed, should he have been allowed, his regime been allowed to survive?
I don't know. I don't know if I really know enough about World War II to answer
Well,
that.
before a war. Like, there's no war, let's say, because Hitler doesn't go to war. But he's still Hitler, and there's still Nazis, and there's still Jews, and there's still hatred, and there's still genocide. There's still the Jewish problem and the elimination thereof. Should he be allowed to survive? And why I'm asking you that is because this is essentially the same position that North Korea, that Kim Jong, whatever his last name is these days, is allowed to survive. What gives?
Why? So you're asking why is Kim Jong Un allowed to survive? I'm pretty sure it's
Yes.
because he has nukes, and China also. Well, China not only has nukes, but they also have ICBMs.
Well, why would anybody be scared of anything to do with China's nuke or North Korea's nukes and China's ICBMs when we have America?
I feel like these are rhetorical questions. You know about mutually assured destruction, right?
Well, I know about the concept. I haven't quite seen it.
Well, yeah, it hasn't played out, but it's pretty much the reason why the nuclear powers don't really fight directly anymore. I mean, that was the whole worry during the Cold War, right? Is that it would end up being
come on.
a nuclear...
Are you saying that if there were no nukes, we'd be fighting?
Probably, yeah. That seems kind of obvious to me,
Okay,
actually.
well, there are no nukes. There are nukes, and Pakistan and India are fighting.
Yeah, Pakistan and India are fighting, but that's different.
Hold on. They both have nukes. Why is it different?
They don't have gigantic nuclear arsenals
Doesn't
like the
matter.
US
They
and
both
China
have
do.
nukes, and they still
It
attack each
does.
other.
It does matter. And do they even have ICBMs? I mean, India
Doesn't
might
matter.
have an ICBM.
They don't need to. They're neighbors.
Well, yeah. They're neighbors. They wouldn't need it to attack each other.
ICBM is intercontinental ballistic missile, and they're neighbors, so they don't need ICBMs.
Right, but here's the problem, though, is that let's say that they do end up having a nuclear war, right? That would be pretty bad, but it wouldn't be one of these things
It would be bad for everybody in the area.
Right, but just in that area.
Of
So
course, yeah.
as far as like nuclear fallout goes, it's probably not going to really hurt the US and China.
No,
If you end up-
but there'd be no India, there'd be no Pakistan and Bangladesh.
And here's also the reason why they haven't nuked each other, at least why I think they haven't nuked each other yet, is that you have these agreements with different countries. In fact, this is pretty much how World War I and World War II started, is you had all these different countries that said, hey, if someone attacks you, we're going to attack them. If I get attacked, then these three other guys are going to attack.
Yeah,
So this is what happens, right? It's the domino effect.
All right.
China, I mean, what is it? India and Pakistan, they just lob nukes at each other, right? They throw it on a catapult or trebuchet and boom.
Okay.
Then their allies start attacking each other. And maybe their allies have ICBMs. Like America is allied with India. We have a shitload of ICBMs. Maybe China would take Pakistan's side. So then China, they have ICBMs as well. So now China and the US are nuking each other. All of the different
North Korea is
countries in-
nuking Japan for sure.
well, they probably could hit Japan, but they would probably go for South Korea first. So you end up having, if one person uses a nuke in combat, you end up having a nuclear war.
Okay, you
like
don't.
World War
Yeah,
III.
you do end up, but you don't necessarily end up. If one person uses a nuke, you don't necessarily land up with everybody using a nuke, or even anybody else using a nuke, because you don't know that. You can assume that, but when it actually happens, I predict that if one person uses a nuke, another person's going to say, "Stop! Hey, everybody, just calm down, step back, and let's assess and carry on." Maybe that nobody will listen, but I think that would be a very strong message from the leadership of this planet.
Sure. Do you trust the leadership of this planet to do that, though?
Not one little bit.
Okay, so there you go. So
But
now
that
I think
might-
we're on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trolling me with your rhetorical questions.
I'm sorry, I haven't changed. So let's have an update. Before you were not a student. And what happened?
Well, I'm still not a student now. I never became a student. Well, since I graduated high school. Let's see. So last I talked to you, I was living in Atlanta.
Yes. With your
Yeah,
sister?
so yeah, my sister.
Yes.
We lost that house. We got foreclosed on. And I went to Massachusetts. I was living with my mom for a little while. And then I just, I guess I am a student when it comes to certifications. I got a few different IT certifications and then got a job working in the industry. And I was able to make pretty good money, like was able to basically get into a middle-class income bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much solved my money problems, or at least, not worried about being poor.
Well done, well done.
And then I started doing the YouTube channel again because I had something I was passionate about again, which was free software, because I feel like promoting free software, cryptocurrency, decentralized technology is kind of like just the best thing that I can do right now, because I feel like I can explain it in a way that is going to get people to use it.
Could you describe and probably direct anyone to your to the YouTube channel or anything else you use to communicate your knowledge?
Well, it's just Mental Outlaw on YouTube. I also have a channel on Odyssey called Alpha Nerd.
Alpha Nerd, okay.
And it's just, so Odyssey is just synced with YouTube. So everything that gets posted there, it goes to Odyssey. Because I know some people are like free software extremists. I'm not really an extremist with it, but some people will go, like Richard Stallman, for example, will go so far as to not run proprietary software under any circumstances. And he won't even run proprietary JavaScript code. So he couldn't even go to a site like YouTube. So that's why I did Odyssey. I believe all their code is non-proprietary, so you can view it and you can enjoy it without running that.
Have you ever added to any open source?
I've written some like basic scripts, some open source shell scripts. Let's see what else. I guess there's my Rice of DWM. I mean, I'm not really a software developer, so like I haven't written any programs.
You're more of a software operator or critic or what?
Oh, what now?
What are you? Not a software operator, but you're a software sorry, you're not a software critic? What did you say?
Are we talking about what I do on YouTube or what I do in real life?
No, what you just said.
Oh, I'm not a software developer. Like, I don't really...
You're not a software developer, right. So what are you in terms of software?
In terms of software. So on YouTube, I guess you can say I'm sort of an influencer, and I promote free open source software for the most part. And like I said, there's some videos I've done about Windows, which obviously is a proprietary operating system.
Yeah, I've seen videos of yours promoting proprietary email software. That was quite something. You don't need Google.
Which one was that?
I don't know.
The alternative email services.
Alternative, yeah.
I don't think, I'm trying to think, because I'm pretty sure that Tutanota is open source. I think maybe Proton Mail is not.
What's your channel?
Mental Outlaw on YouTube.
Mental Outlaw, 2 words. And there are, believe it or not, a lot of people who are nerdy like and will enjoy your stuff, even though they don't like to admit it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely very, very niche.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm trying to come up with some things other than YouTube to do, because I don't really get a whole lot of views. Like I mean, I get.
Well, you
decent
got to be
views.
controversial in order to get views.
I mean, I'm definitely kind of controversial with
Well,
some things I say.
Yeah,
but
well, certainly. But what you put up on YouTube is all the controversial stuff that you allegedly had before
Allegedly.
has gone.
that was cute. Allegedly.
yeah. No, but it's like if you were to compare me to other tech channels, like Linus Tech Tips, for example, he makes videos about technology that's in the news. Like if you get some kind of PC magazine, I imagine he probably like dog ears different pages. Like, I'll make a video talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that.
Well, why don't you make a video for Crypto? She's actually in the side chat. She has a blog, she has a website, and she would love some help in figuring out some probably open source, because she's doing WordPerfect right now, and you know how shitty that is.
WordPerfect? What is WordPerfect?
No, WordPerfect is
I'm
an
sorry,
old.
WordPress.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
WordPerfect is the
WordPress.
old. Is the very very old Microsoft Word.
That's it's a very old
DOS.
text editor. No,
WordPress is a funny one. So WordPress is
Okay.
okay. So I'll say this: WordPress being bad, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. So WordPress sites are oftentimes the victim of hacking attacks, but it's not so much to do with WordPress per se, and it's also not so much to do with PHP, because WordPress is PHP, well, written in PHP, and a lot of people will criticize it for that. The big problem that I see with WordPress sites is people tend to install a whole lot of plugins for the site to work. And then those plugins become outdated. They end up having vulnerabilities in them. And then people end up hacking your website through an exploit in the plugins.
So in other words, you're not doing your housekeeping.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I would say that if you are going to stay really up to date on your plugins, that you could feasibly build a website with WordPress. I mean, I have...
Yay!
Oh,
I have a website.
Crypto's
Hi!
here.
Crypto's here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
You have a website?
I have a website that I'm working on, and I have one version of it that was done. It's going to be an e-commerce website. One version that was done using like WordPress and then WooCommerce, which is built on top of that. But the main reason that I'm probably not going to launch that one is more to do with people probably roasting me for using WordPress than the security. Like, I'm not too worried about it getting hacked.
Well,
There's
you know,
also some things that I can't do.
I'm just getting out of using WordPress, but the current WordPress that I was using had automatic updates for everything. All the plugins,
yeah, it's
automatic.
pretty good.
The thing to do though is, if you don't use a plugin anymore, if you deactivate a plugin, get rid of it, delete it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Keep in mind with updates, automatic updates, that's a bit of a double-edged sword.
It might be, but it's so it never let me down.
Mine's sort of organic. It just sort of it happens. I try not to look at it too much right now. It's working. That's all I care about. It's working right now.
Would you
Yes,
prefer
I mean, we'll see.
a better solution
What?
than WordPress?
Oh, well, what I'm trying out now is Django. I'm trying to do it in Django now.
How difficult is it compared to WordPress?
Do you have any experience with Python?
No.
It's going to be pretty difficult then.
Okay.
Well, I had an account for years I didn't do anything with, and then this year I'm like, hey, let's just make this. And it's been such a relief to me because I don't have to express myself on normal social media. I can think, here's my page, here's my opinion, here's my little soapbox, here's my portfolio for all my artwork when I finish uploading it, and I don't have to deal with people. And I don't care if people roast me. People are going to roast me anyways. People are just, that's what people do. They
I don't know.
What happened?
Somebody froze.
Oh, we were all just being quiet. I thought that the stream froze for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, so, basically, website is going to be something to come. I might, in all honesty, just hire someone to do it because I really don't know JavaScript that well. I've never even really developed a website, so I might do that, especially to build it the way that I want to, because I'm really interested in using Actix for the built-in. I hope I'm saying that right.
Actix? I've never heard of it. I know
It's,
that Crypto wants to build a blog website. That's what she was talking about, expressing herself through blog.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that, I think WordPress would be fine. Because what's the worst that could happen, right? Somebody trashes your blog. For me,
WordPress
I'm
is safe
thinking
enough.
of making...
I went through a web host, or a hosting site, a hosting service, I should say. And the security was just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no ways you can, unless you yourself make some blunder, it's very difficult to get hacked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cybersecurity is... I tend to take it pretty seriously.
You can get, but you can get the double verification, you can log on using the verification where you need to enter a code that they text you.
Oh, I mean...
Once you do that, nobody can hack into you because you'll always get the text.
So that's protecting your administration panel, but what do you have protecting SSH?
Well, firstly, when I had my website, I purchased a HTTPS certificate. That was the first
You
thing.
did?
Yes.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Why not?
Because HTTPS doesn't cost any money. You can just use, what is it called? Let's Encrypt. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, that'll just do your HTTPS for you.
Okay, well, these are things I didn't know, which is why they preyed on my ignorance.
Should have watched my channel, Sydney.
Oh, yes.
Low blow. Low blow. He's right, though.
Under the belt. Bang.
Well, that's okay. He's right. But the website had to go, because it was costing money and it wasn't open source, just like Kenny likes it to be. And I like it to be. That's why I'm using OBS.
Yeah. I think our threat models and use cases for websites are probably a little different. Because with me, like I said, I'm trying to build an e-commerce website.
Right.
So there's
you've got
just a bit more.
and shit then.
Yeah.
You've got
and
way
then
more
there's
problems to deal with,
and then there's the issue of fan bases. Like my fan base, they could really fuck some shit up if it's not secure.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these are like computer science students. They know stuff. They know a lot of them know things better than me. Like I get it in my comments all the time where I'll get something wrong and then someone's explaining it and it's like, oh damn.
Well, it'll work really well for you, I think. It works well
What's
for
that?
me, in that it keeps me away from security issues anyway, is ridiculing Christianity.
Hmm.
Have you ever thought of doing that?
Well, I used to do it back in the day, but I don't. I just don't. I'm not even an anti-theist anymore. You know.
What do you? Oh, but you're still an atheist. You have to be.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Like, it's not so much that I definitely don't believe in like Yahweh. I think that's a little silly.
No, you believe in Thor. I know.
But no, it's like I don't really care about bashing it because there's a couple of things that I've realized sort of when it comes to religion is one, I don't think that I no longer think that someone is smart just because they're an atheist, because I've been maybe blessed or cursed, however you want to look at it, but I have met a lot of dumbass atheists in Boston. So I don't even really consider somebody's religious beliefs when I'm assessing their intelligence anymore.
There's a lot of dumbass atheists in this community. I don't have to go to Boston.
Yeah. Definitely, which is why I kind of left that community. Also, I don't really feel like religion has as much influence over the world, or certainly not over America, as it used to. Like, I think I even kind of talked about this in a video where, to me, George Bush's presidency was peak Christianity in America, and it's been on the decline since then.
Okay, but so has the nature of Christianity. People are more and more aligning themselves with a position of not going to church, but still being a Christian and still believing it and still preaching it. That's changing. It's changing a lot of things. The internet.
That's because they don't want to pay the 10%.
Well, the other thing too is
there's loss of revenue from that. Yeah.
The other thing too is, what does it even mean to be a Christian? Because the label is meaning less and less as time goes on. Like I'm sure you probably know about the progressive Christians, right?
Well, you know what? I like to just focus on the God concept. That's how I ridicule the Christians. I start from the God concept. How stupid that is, or how idiotic.
Well, sure, but even the God concept.
Yes.
When we're with respect to Christianity, and I'm saying with respect to all Christianity, not just like Catholicism or whatever, they don't even agree on what God is and who God is. Like, if you talk to like, do you know anything about Gnosticism?
I'm a Gnostic atheist, so yeah.
Well, like Gnostic Christianity.
Gnostic Christianity. Well, I think that the modern progressive Darth Dawkins Christianity is Gnostic.
Well, just like with respect to God. So, like, the Gnostics believe that the God in the Bible, Yahweh, is actually this thing called the demiurge. And they see it as not quite like the devil, but they see it as something that's close to the devil. And again, this is something that falls under the umbrella of Christianity. So you've got two different denominations that believe completely different things about the nature of God.
But is there such a thing? Is there an alternative to God, according to the Gnostics?
So with I'm not super knowledgeable on it, but the Gnostics do believe in a creator God, but to them, it's more of a deist model instead of a theist model. So they believe in the demiurge, and the demiurge acts as God and acts like a theist God, but it's not good, it's evil. So the demiurge is basically like trying to promote suffering and things like this in the world.
But what's the argument for that? What's their rationale for that? See, as a Gnostic atheist, I have a rationale for my Gnosticism, I believe. Yet, a Gnostic theist,
Gnostic Christian,
has a word like demiurge, which I have no idea what that even is.
So the demiurge is Yahweh. Okay, so it's the same character, but they don't worship the demiurge. They see it as more as an evil being, which honestly makes sense, because if you read, especially if you read the Old Testament, the character of God doesn't really sound like how a God would actually behave. Like, I would think that a God, like, okay, if there really was a God, I think that its personality and the way it would behave would be more similar to, like, Dr. Manhattan, right? I don't think it would experience rage or jealousy, because those are negative emotions. Like, there's human beings that have transcended beyond jealousy. So why would a God not be able to transcend beyond it?
Yeah, but that's assuming God exists. A God exists.
Right, which is why
quite the stretch.
with the Gnostic Christians, they have more of a deist model, and a deist model is really no different than an atheist model at the end of the day, because whether or not there's a God really doesn't matter. It's, does the God care about us? Does it want something? That's what matters. And then, of course, what does it want if it wants something?
Yeah, how do you find these things out?
Well, we all know how it goes with religion, right? You read what's in the book, but then what is the book? Because especially when we're talking about Christianity, that book is a collection of books, and some of the books have been taken out, like Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Judas. They've been translated every which way, and many people believe they've lost their translations. I personally lean more towards the interpretation of, gosh, what was his name? I want to say Joseph Allegro, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. Have you read that? Are you aware of that?
Never heard of it, no.
So this guy, let me make sure that that's his name real quick. Joseph Allegro.
I like to just refer to the original text. It's the one that they can, the earliest text that they know of, that's the one I want to refer to.
Well, so this book, John Allegro, that's his name. So John Allegro is a deep sea scroll scholar, and I believe he's fluent in like Aramaic and Hebrew. Basically, he is one of the few people on the planet that can take these deep sea scrolls that are written back when Christianity was going on, or like when Jesus supposedly walked the earth, interpret it and tell us what it really means. And do you want to know what his interpretation was? That Jesus Christ was a mushroom, a psychedelic mushroom.
Okay, fair enough.
And that the whole story about the friendly carpenter born in a manger was just this whole thing that these, I guess, ancient Hebrew stoners made up to throw the Roman guards off.
I'm just wondering who was there to write all this down while it was happening.
No one was really writing it. So like the direct like people that were working with Jesus and whatnot, I think it was an oral tradition for maybe a generation or two, and then it got written down.
Oh yeah, everything was oral first. But how many generations?
Maybe like one or two.
You think?
It's been a while since I read this, so a lot of what I'm saying is probably not accurate. But the main thing about Jesus being a mushroom, and that's his interpretation of it, is accurate.
Well, it's not out of place, considering that you can take any fiction and interpret as you see it, which is why fiction is part of literature courses in school, where you take something that somebody's written and you read it and then you comment on it. And you see how many different ways people look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's psychedelic influences, and not even just the Bible, but all religions.
Psychedelic influences in all religions. How is the psychedelic influence evident in the religion of Mormonism?
Okay. Definitely not Mormon. You got me there. I'll say in the Abrahamic faiths, there is psychedelic influence.
So there were smokables back in the ancient Near East.
Spliffs.
Well,
Yeah.
you know the story about Moses and the burning
Do you
bush.
know
right?
that I think that, hey, this is interesting. Maybe Jesus sold spliffs to the audience so they'd stick around and listen to his speeches. Maybe that's that's a
It was a
possibility.
Rastafari.
I doubt it was spliffs because the weed back then would have been really shit.
Yeah, it would have been, but it would have been like a very small burning bush or something.
Well, the burning bush with Moses, that was an acacia bush, and the acacia bush is rich in the DMT compound, which is considered one of the strongest natural psychedelics on the planet.
I have heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so the
understand that
idea,
it's not addictive. Is that true?
well, pretty much, I don't even know of any psychedelics that are addictive, but no, I mean it's a chemical that your brain produces. Like I think when you're sleeping and you're in REM sleep, your brain is producing DMT, and then when you die, you get DMT released. It's supposed to be the thing that causes you to like see the light through the tunnel and like all the visions of
How do
heaven.
they measure the DMT of people who are dying? Is that something that's being clinically tested?
Yeah, I'd imagine you can do it just like when you do an autopsy and find out how much of a drug someone had in their system, if any.
Oh, so there'd be a normal amount of human D and DMT, and if there's exceeding that, then you've taken some. Is that what
No.
you're saying?
So if we're talking about how would they, you're asking how do we know DMT gets released at death? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been, I don't know the name of the studies off the top of my head, but it's just like you do an autopsy of someone and you can see evidence that, oh, okay, yeah, they had DMT in their, DMT was released in their bloodstream when they died.
At the time of death. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that never fails. That's a constant.
I think it has to be a slow death because it's when people are seeing like the light and all the things that I'm sure you've heard a million times. Someone says that they died and went to heaven and saw things, which I would believe.
Okay,
if,
well, let me ask you about different types of deaths.
Okay.
A natural death.
If it's fast, you're not going to get the DMT. If you get your brains
No,
blown out,
natural death.
you're not
A
getting
hospice
DMT.
death. A hospice death.
Yeah, hospice. I would definitely imagine that you're getting the DMT. Definitely.
And like you're under torture when you know you're going to die, like by the, BTK killer or something.
Well, if you're getting tortured, you can inflict pain to the point where people start to hallucinate. But I don't think that's DMT related.
No, I understand that, but I'm talking about the point of death from torture.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So in other words,
I would
you've been
imagine.
tortured, the pain is excruciating, you've passed out a few times, they've smacked you or poured cold water, etc., 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 and now you just can't take it anymore and you're gonna die. Do you get a rush?
I think maybe, yeah. Probably get a
I
little bit
think
of
so too. Okay, what about if you're drowning? Okay, you know you're drowning and you know you're gonna die when you're drowning, although it takes a few minutes.
Possibly. People hallucinate from drowning too, but it's more, I think that's more to do with lack of oxygen.
Yeah, but DMT has got nothing to do with oxygen.
Right. What I'm saying is so let's say you drown and you survive it, and then we're asking you about your trip.
Forget about surviving it. Surviving it doesn't count because
Okay.
it only happens if you die.
Yeah, no, it can happen with near-death experiences too. So if you're brought back, like you die and then you get brought back, resuscitated, you still get the DMT. It's not like you don't get it when you're
then
out.
You're not dead. The only time you're dead is when your brain is dead.
No.
When your brain
You get
is
it when
dead,
you're dying.
You can't
You get the
resuscitate.
DMT when you're dying, not when you're fully dead. When you're
But
dying.
how long before your brain is dead do you get it?
It lasts, when you smoke DMT, it lasts about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So maybe it's that long. But it's also being injected directly into your bloodstream. So I don't know. It's hard to say because you can drink ayahuasca, so that's DMT that's being absorbed more like an edible, and that
Now,
lasts
how,
longer.
how do you
It's like
think
half an
that?
hour.
How do you think that DMT evolved to become this this goodbye drug, goodbye to life drug?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like the primary function that it has is to kill you with happiness.
Oh,
or when you
well,
die,
it also,
inject
you also
with
get it when you're
happiness.
dreaming. You also get it in REM
No,
sleep.
I understand that, but when you die, you get injected with it almost like by a venomous snake. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you inject. Like when you get bitten by a snake, you don't die instantaneously necessarily. It might take a few minutes or a few moments, whatever. So it's that type of thing. That's what it's. But how did it evolutionarily evolve to
Oh, okay, I see.
its point of
I see what you're saying.
existence?
I've got no clue because it's not even something that just exists in humans. It exists in different animals and plants. It even exists in like regular grass. Like you could
That
probably
is interesting.
extract DMT from your lawn clippings.
That is interesting. Wow. So people who have degrees in chemistry or understand chemistry, they must have a lot of knowledge in how to do very, very, just like you mentioned, extract DMT from lawn clippings.
Yeah, which is why it's so hilarious that it's illegal.
Oh, it's illegal to do that?
DMT is illegal, yes, it's a controlled substance.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why you can't buy it in your local cannabis store.
Now, you used to be able to. You used to be able to get like a shitload of it. But...
You know what I once bought in a it wasn't in a cannabis store, it was in a shaman store. I bought salvia.
Oh yeah, that's. I've seen videos of people doing that. That's not one I want to try.
You don't. I tried it. I've still got a couple of hits left.
Yeah. Were you out of your fucking mind?
I was terrified. I was sitting in this chair, I was holding onto the chair and holding onto the desk and experiencing this high and praying to God that it'll be over soon.
To God, whoa. Okay.
Well,
So salvia turns you
only,
to
no, I can
a
only,
Christian.
I can
Or
only,
is this a law?
I can only express my terror at being under this influence by. I wasn't praying to God. It was praying to myself, but telling myself that I hope this is going to be over soon. I really, hope to. Praying to God is akin to talking to myself.
Now, what did the time dilation feel like? Because I've heard that
Too long.
salvia has the most intense time dilation.
Too long. Oh, what do you mean by time dilation? Like the time you take it and the time it hits you?
No, so there's how much time actually went by, which is maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but how long did it feel to you?
That's
Or do you just
very
have no
good
idea?
question. There's no, you have no concept. You just know that it's happening, and you don't want it to happen. You want it to stop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there was some side of me. There was kind of, call it the peripheral me.
Uh-huh. The
Was
super
able-
consciousness.
Yeah, was able to hold onto my chair and hold onto the desk and keep and consciously feel it. I kept on consciously feeling the desk and the chair just to make sure that I was connected somehow. I was grounded somehow.
Yeah.
So I didn't totally lose it, and that's kind of what I think kept me from I don't know, floating away or whatever. But making sure that at some level I was grounded with reality by feeling the wood and feeling the armchair kept me from losing it.
Oh yeah, you've got to. I mean, that tends to be the case with psychedelics, but especially plant-based psychedelics. I don't know if this is maybe just me, but I've done a couple in my day. Like I've done mushrooms and LSD, probably the two that I've done the most. But I've noticed with mushrooms, I really don't have any hope of controlling it. It's like, if I'm doing mushrooms, I'm going wherever the mushroom decides we go. But if I do acid, I can do a lot of acid. Like I've done like 5 hits of acid and gone grocery shopping before. Like it's just
What did you come back with?
everything is
What did you come back with?
everything I needed to get.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just got like, cause what was it? I was planning to just stay at home and I think go to the park, but I didn't have ginger ale. Like I like to have ginger ale when I'm tripping so that my stomach doesn't get hurt, or just to soothe my stomach. And I didn't have it, so I'm like, oh, I got to go get ginger ale, and I think I bought like some fruit, something to eat, and yeah, like things were. What did I do? I put on sunglasses because I don't want people to see my eyes, and also it would have been really bright. And yeah, it was fine. Like everything was freaking weird, and I had to look at things closely to make sure I'm getting the right thing, but it was fine.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's like I don't know. It's like when you're drinking and you just have like 2 beers and you're feeling good, but you're still
Right.
completely in control. That's kind of how.
But you're still drunk.
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind
you're
of
still
how
buzzed.
LSD is.
You're definitely buzzed.
Exactly.
And you're
Yeah, that's-
smiling. And
that's
you're
how it
smiling
is.
at everyone. Ah.
So do you notice that? I mean, do you have experience with LSD?
No, I've never done LSD.
Oh man, you're missing out.
I've never done lots of things that I'm missing out on. I've never done heroin. I've never done.
Nah, don't do heroin.
Why not?
Because it's a fucking opiate, dude. Opiates are fucking stupid.
I've never done opium.
Yeah, but all the opiates are fucking stupid.
Or
I mean,
fentanyl.
yeah, that's an opiate.
Or
They're all fucking-
methamphetamine.
Yeah, amphetamines can be a little dangerous too. I mean, have you done Adderall?
Or Adderall. Or ketamine.
You've never taken Adderall?
No.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's one of the things that like
Tell me about Adderall. I've heard it in very, very, very vague terms. I don't even know what it is really.
so it's kind of like caffeine, but you also get hyper focused with it. So like for me when I take caffeine, I get energized, but I'm not always super focused. Like there will be times when I'll be researching something or I'll be trying to work on a video or work on some project, and like I'll just have all this energy and it's like, oh, I need to go outside or I need to like go to the gym and burn off this energy. With Adderall, you kind of get the same energy, but you can sit there and just work on something for 14 hours.
That sounds very appropriate for me.
But the problem is it definitely is addictive. Like I would say if you're going to take it, to do maybe like 3 days on, 4 days off, like 4 days on, 3 days off.
Or whatever.
Don't take it for a week straight because you're going to get addicted to it.
Well, I would do it by prescription, so I would just do whatever the prescription says.
Yeah, the prescriptions a lot of the time will tell you to take it like every day. So
Yeah, but it might be an appropriate dose for every day. Low.
no, it's a matter of
I
you
know
don't
nothing
want-
about it, so I'm really talking out of turn.
If you do opiates, I will come over there and kick your fucking ass. Is that clear?
We were talking about Adderall.
Okay, as long as it never dabble with some things. It's just not worth your life.
No, opiates was passed over very quickly.
Yeah, opiates are stupid. I live in Massachusetts, so I see dope fiends all the time. Every time I get on the train, I see a dope fiend. I've been propositioned by dope fiends.
I walk in a park, my dog, sometimes very early in the morning, and then the other day, yesterday I think it was, the day before, I walk in the park and there was this couple sitting there with syringes being pumped into their veins, just sitting there behind a bench.
It's like Victoria right now. I love where I live because I'm not downtown. It's so dirty downtown. It's so gross.
Shows you what a difference a block makes.
Yep.
Right. You got needle pushes, and then a block away you got like.
It's like paradise. It's
not paradise, but it's a different class, different level.
Yeah.
Different level
I
of
think-
clientele, you know. People walking their dogs instead of shooting drugs up their veins.
Well, I think one of the big things that happened was there was a huge seizure of LSD in the early 2000s, and then most of the chemists went on to meth. And that's where we started seeing a huge problem in Vancouver and on the island.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
about
how it
right. Same
works.
thing in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, meth is way more profitable and way easier to make than LSD.
So is that the drug on the street right now? Is meth?
Oh, it's awful. It's awful what it's doing here.
Is that what I saw them injecting into their arms?
Oh, who knows what that was?
No. Hold on a second. One of
That
them.
probably would have been like it could be because
Okay.
sometimes people will mix they'll mix coke and mix meth and mix all these
Then
things,
I would
and
have
it's
no idea what. However, I forget that in that same spot the other day, there was a different person or different couple, and the one person, I had enough time to see because I walk, I kind of walk in a sort of a semicircle in front of them because I got my dog with me and she's sniffing around and taking her time. So I noticed that this person she had a lighter and she was warming up the silver paper thing. Or something. She's warming up something, and then at some point she sort of sucked it
that'd
in.
probably be heroin or
okay.
fentanyl.
There you go.
That's
Sounds like they're cooking.
you should probably get a kit if that's around your part.
And then the person next to her, or him, obviously had taken the hit and was just kind of a lump,
Yeah, that's probably heroin.
just out of it, just totally
I'm
out
just-
of it.
I'm a
Some kind of
success
opiate.
story. I'm a success story. Then I made
I
it
want to
out.
know what these people are going through when I see that they're out of it. I see that they're just lifeless almost. But what is going on inside them?
You're just shut down. You don't think about anything. It's just like no pain.
So what you
But-
see is what you get, basically.
But then it's like it only lasts so long, and the more you use, the more you need.
Because you want to
and
feel you want to feel this or have this.
because you physically hurt if you don't get it. You feel like you get this great bliss, but then it is like the worst pain in the world if you don't get your fix.
Yeah, like the thing with all drug addiction and really all addiction in general, you're addicted once the cure is also the thing that's causing the pain.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
Like an opiate addict, it's not even so much that they're feeling good when they do it, it's that what they normally feel is so bad and that this drug is just getting them to normal.
Yeah.
That's what most of it is. Like all they want
Yeah.
to do is feel normal.
I was functional. I had a job. Nobody knew I used, but it just shut down all of that pain.
The emotional pain.
Yeah.
So why is it illegal then? If you can
'Cause
function on
more-
it, if you
more
can
money
function on
can be
it,
made.
if you
More
can
money
function
can be made
on
off of
it,
it.
I wasn't functioning though, Sydney.
you just
It
said
wasn't.
you were.
I was repressing my emotions,
understand
and
that,
that
but you
is
were
not
functioning.
healthy.
Oh,
If you can
no,
address
true,
what
true,
is
true.
causing you to do whatever addictive behavior, whether it be food or sex, heal the person, and that's a better way to go than just dumping on medications or dumping
Okay,
on religion.
I can't argue with you there.
And it's illegal because it's more profitable for it to be illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have to go and make another pot of coffee. Can I keep you? Can I?
yeah,
Would
yeah,
you like to
absolutely.
keep it going? I'm going to go on mute while you
No worries. No.
chat away.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll hang out till you get back. Keep your stream going.
Yeah, well, I've
With a
done
world
a.
famous YouTuber. No, I'm just kidding. Not world famous. I don't have the check mark. I need to get the check mark and get verified.
Well, I've really liked your perspective on crypto, I want to see where you're going to take your channel, because there is so much. People are afraid of all of this, especially, like, I know a lot of older people, so they don't understand it, so I don't even want to deal with it. So if it dispels some of the myths and people feel safe about investing in it, I'm excited. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective on crypto, I really want it to become more of an actual currency. The only problem is there's no coins that I can think of off the top of my head that would 100% serve that purpose. Monero is very close, but Monero, the network can't handle as many transactions per second as, say, Visa or MasterCard.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of holding it back, in my opinion.
But this is, if you look at like where we're going to be in 5 years, I think a lot of people, and during the pandemic, it's easy to get like this bottleneck focus. But look at where we're going to be in 5 years. Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? Crypto is the future. You know?
Yeah, like with the website that I'm working on, it definitely has, crypto is a big part of it. What I want is for people to be able to use a wide array of cryptocurrencies to purchase on my site. I'm probably going to build like Stripe in as well, so people can use credit cards, but ideally I would want people shopping there with cryptocurrency. I don't know how far it's going to go. I mean, I sort of have this pipe dream of it being like Amazon, but with crypto, which would honestly be really freaking cool if I could do that.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and just have because the problem with cryptocurrency, well, different cryptocurrencies have this problem. Like Bitcoin and Monero, they have a real use, which is that you can use these currencies on the dark web. So there's a whole industry that gives these coins meaning, especially Monero.
And that's started to become a touchy subject because people don't want to invest in some of this because they want secure blockchains. They want to know where this came from.
Well, that's easier to figure out than with crypto than it is with regular money. You can audit these. Well, it depends on the blockchain. If we're talking about Monero, you can't really figure out where things are coming from. But if we're talking about Bitcoin, you can trace a Bitcoin all the way back to when it was mined. Like it's completely.
Can I ask you, what do you think about sushi?
Sushi token?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really in on it. I don't know much.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't speak on it.
It's like one of my Pokemons. I just sort of took it. It tanked. I went up like, oh man, I went up like 140, and then I was like, I gotta just level out. This is gonna tank. And then the past few weeks, I'm like, oh.
Is it a shit coin or does it actually do anything?
I have no idea. Like right now, I have a minimum investment. It's just more seeing how different apps work with Bitcoins. That is my focus. It's not actually the crypto. It's seeing how the apps work with the crypto. I'm doing like reviews on apps and games.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's real cool. Yeah, the way it interacts, I mean, for me, like I said, I want it to become a replacement for currency because the fact that pretty much every global currency that's used, whether we're talking about USD or euros, is fiat. And that's a really big problem. I think people are starting to wake up to the problem of fiat, especially here in the US, since our money supply increased by about 25% during COVID.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. The investments. So the investments, in a way, it's good and it's bad for the money. So for it to work as a money, they need to achieve a very high market cap so that nobody can make it be very volatile. And Bitcoin got close. I mean, it did get up to a $1 trillion market cap, actually beyond that, and started having a bit more stability. But I don't even really value Bitcoin that much. I mean, Bitcoin, the only reason that I don't see Bitcoin as a shitcoin is because so many other people are invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Bitcoin is more of a shitcoin. Like, I feel like Monero, for example, is better than it in every way.
Okay.
And then Ethereum, the smart contracts are very useful. I need to do more research on the altcoins that handle smart contracts.
Well, there's one. Let me dig it up. Sorry, I need more coffee. Where is it? PHT. What's your opinion on that one?
BHT? What's that?
PHT.
PHT. I don't think I know anything about that one.
Okay, then never mind. It's probably one of the bleep coins.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not like...
I don't know either.
I'm not super... I'm not super knowledgeable on just like crypto across the board because there's so many different coins. Like if you throw some out, I'm probably never heard of them. But the ones that I do know about, I know a lot about. It's like I know a lot about Monero. I know a lot about Bitcoin.
I think we all get our faves, our little, like sushi is a long shot. I don't care. It's one I knew was getting developed. So if I have to play the long game on it, I don't care. You know, I'm not a trader. You know, that right now I just want to get a little bit, and because I've, you know, helping buddies. I don't know. It's not like I know these people, but I've seen the development. So yeah, it could tank, it could do good. I don't care. It's gambling. It's like I could take that money and go to the casino and get probably less of a return on it.
Yeah, like, you know, selling and getting returns is nice. Like I bought this whack token and I'm probably going to sell that once I feel like selling it. Let's see. I should probably check the price on it and see where it's at. Here's my crypto browser.
Like, see, I've been getting more into like stocks and even just testing the stock apps and seeing, well, how much is the minimum bid or how much to buy it? Like, how realistic is it for the average consumer to use an app like this these people, but I've to have a stock portfolio? So without going through traders.